shack at. The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, January 13th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We broke through yesterday. I knew it was coming. When you have got off to a bad start of just, short sample size of 2023, you don't want to tap your, slap yourself on the ass too much. But I knew it was coming. We cashed in all sports. And it could have been even a bigger night. NHL 4-2 plus 2.6 units. My 3 looks that I came in with the show, they all cashed, and they went 3-0 plus 3.75 units. I gave a little bit back with my additions, but 4-2 plus 2.6 units in NHL, 3-1 plus 1.9 units in NBA, 5-3 plus 1.7 units in NCAA basketball, 12-6 plus 6.2 units over the night, and it felt really fucking good, man. Felt really good. I got to get locked in. We had my best year capping last year, and I guess I got a little overconfident. Sometimes you need that slap in the face. We talk about it, and I got it off the top of the season, or off the top of 2023. So we are in business. And yesterday, I told my family, I was like, look, I've got to work just all day and all night and just not stop working. So I took a shower after the show, and it took about maybe 30 minutes for dinner. And other than that, I've just been working, doing a lot. Some of it was with stats, just getting caught up with stats. It's important, when we talk about the transparency, just for our guests to have all their stats up to date. That's done now. All the stats are ready for NFL Pub Hub on Saturday. We have all of our top cappers throughout the year on our Saturday show. That's at 2:30 on Saturday. And I just want to win more than anything else. More than anything. I'm proud. I have a family. I'm proud to be here with them. I just want to win here with you guys. I want to win so fucking badly. And it felt really good yesterday, and I want more of it. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Our producer, Jose Bouquet, is in jury duty, but he did get us the game set, the game graphics, and he sent out the invites, and he's still fighting the good fight, as he always does. But I will be handling the producing side of things, which make things a little trickier. Our guy, TJ, in the house. He's on Grillo. Sony Open round 2. Says, take this gift to the bank. 15-2 record over 2 years. Minus 115 at DraftKings. Minus 125 at Bet Online. He says minus 155 is the best price. His Grillo's improved both his off the tee and approach play in 16 rounds this season. Was the 5th best ball striker in the field yesterday. And Bez Whedon, who I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Bez was the 2nd worst player ball striking yesterday. That is the look from our TJ. That's not spam, my friend. That is not spam, my friend. That would never be considered spam. I love it. And there's Jose Bouquet talking about being in jury duty, but still fighting the good fight and getting us ready to go. Serious business in the house. Slatsy says, knew you would bounce back, Jimmy. Great call on your favorite drink. Yeah, Kraken first period. It was a really nice setup. Really, really nice setup when we knew the Kraken would care so much for it. And let's just always watch these East Coast teams when they come back from West Coast road trip. It was just kind of a lazy spot for the Bruins, and Kraken ready to go. That was really good. Kraken first period, the double up on the Red Wings. I probably haven't made back, Slatsy, me. All the money I've lost, not giving about trends. But I got a little bit back last night. We added the first period as well. Senators -1, I thought was the best bet on the board. It wasn't as easy as a victory as I thought it was going to be. Carolina Columbus under 6.5. I thought I was going to cash that shit. 4-1 late in the game. Rangers. I took the Rangers and Islanders -1 each, plus 136, plus 159 respectively. That ended up hurting me. That ended up costing me about just under a unit for not taking them on the money line. But I'm going to continue to do that. If I get a -105 or -110, I'll take it. But, I don't want to spend much more than that. And we know what empty net goals do. Yeah, that is yesterday's NHL action. Thank you, Slatsy. There's Wine Time Sports in the house. RVD 420. Our guy, Nuke Worker, says, happy Friday, fellas. Just finished doing the driveway with the snowblower. Nice job. I was supposed to do some digging out this morning, and I said no. But I will do it after the show. I've got to focus here on the work. The work is paramount in winning. God, the stakes are high, man. Rocco Rogers, Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast, and he says, my Coyotes have embraced the tank. I'm convinced of it. Yes, they fought hard this year. Letting go, Mally Mouse says NCAA was fire. It was. We've been running real nice on the court. But on Wednesday, Dabby Cab and I did not have a good day, and we bounced back real nice. Real nice. I ended up losing the late game, so I went 5-3 plus 1.7 units, I believe. 1.7 units, yes. But Dabby Cab swept the board. He went 3-0. So, we needed to succeed, and we did. NBA as well is running a real nice. We are 7-1 over the last 2 days, but you're what your season statistics tell you that you are. And my season statistics are not good in NBA. But mark my words, they will be. We have Durrell for NBA today. We have Bobano coming first for NHL and college basketball. Bobano running real nice in college basketball. My record's really good, and Bobano's is better. And in NBA, Durrell, talking about sweeping the board, Durrell and I both swept the board on Wednesday. We each went 4-0, and we only had one pick the same, Kings first quarter. Everything else was different. So, really we went 7-0. So I'm excited. I'm pumped up, but we need to keep winning. We need to keep winning. A shout out to all you guys: Elliot V, Rocco, PG 00187, Oliver Page, Christopher Commentini, Sky Dragon says OOT killed all my alt unders. Damn, we were so right. I still got that under shockingly. That's the first time in games that I can remember. The game going, through double overtime and still cashing the under. Skydragon, we nailed that. It's the part of capping that's not fair. We nailed that under. That was a thing of absolute beauty. Michael Irvelina, nice to see you back in action. We got Alfred says Lakers ruined my night for 6 G's. Wow, that's I hate hearing that. I hate hearing that. Hate hearing that. Too bad. North Ender. Remos ready to attack today. Mal says, man, Columbus, trash. What a great group we have here. I love it. Okay, so let's get to work. I wish I could give you guys all shouts out, but we have a lot of work to do, and I also am producing the show, so it's going to be a little trickier for me. But Sean Pulliam, Sammy Calmer, Dan Kelly, Nut Flush Allen, J Dub, all Coin on a 17-8 run, up 13.36 units in the last 6 days. I love that. So let's just Marquise Willis, Mr. Heat. We don't need to rejoice in yesterday's win too much, but let's just take 1 second because I needed it. I needed to turn around this bad start of 2023. We had the best year of my career in 2022, and just all 3 sports profit, 6+ units, big casher, pick up a little over K. And look, I'm down this year, so but moving in the right direction. A big weekend awaits. Let's get to work in NHL and bring on your first guest. Let me get this all set up for us so we can rock here. Beautifully set up by our man, Mr. Jose Bouquet. I'm not sure if I'll be doing this right, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Please welcome to the show from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow. He does a superb job on these Fridays. He also does a superb job on NFL Pub Hub. The guy's uncanny on NFL Pub Hub this year. He's been nothing short of spectacular. now up over 20 units. He will be on our show tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, right before the first wildcard game. Please welcome Mr. Ian Cameron to the show. Ian, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Jimmy, good to be with you again. It's not a great day to be Jose Bouquet, is it? Jury duty? God, that shit sucks. Although I don't know if there is a good day to be Jose Bouquet, but today in particular, just not very good.
All you have to do, all you have to do is say something horrific, right? Right? Just say something just horrifying, and you just get let go, right? You just got to slip it in when no one's expecting it. So I
do everything in my power to get myself the hell out of there. I know I would.
Sexist, something nice and easy and sexist. Is a perfect way of doing it. Viper MB says, looks like my heckling worked from the upper level. Ben Simmons sucked. Dropped a goose egg, and his voice is gone. Rem Mo said, thought you were going to bring out some gilfs to celebrate the good betting day yesterday. We can do that very quickly for you. We can do that for you. I find her. She takes it to the next level. She seems very experienced, very in control. Not her as much. She seems a little loopy, but also we'll start with those two. We'll give one party animal.
Sophisticated drinker and raging drunk. That's the difference in those two. Yeah,
that is the difference. Okay, but man, we have a ton of work to do. And we are in NHL. So let's get right to work. So we have 3 games in NHL. We're going to cap all 13 games in NCAA basketball, and we are on a bit of a timeline. We have an hour and 17 minutes, really, max to do that in. So we'd like to be onto NBA.
We'll be done by then. We'll make it happen.
So let's get right to work, my friend. Let me set this up. We start with 7 p.m. Eastern. Winnipeg Jets 27-14-1, 11-8-1 on the road at the Pittsburgh Penguins, 21-13-6, 11-4-4 at home. We're at PG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. God, this is annoying. Having a problem with this Safari Sports Insights. I do everything on Chrome, and I guess I got to update the computer. But I digress. David Riddick is whom we have listed as the Jets are on the second half of a back-to-back after defeating the Sabres 4-2 at Buffalo last night. Casey DeSmith going to be in between the pipes for the Pittsburgh Penguins as Tristan Jarry still dealing with an ailment. 5-8-2, 3.17 goals against average, 904 save percentage. Riddick's been better, actually. 6-4-0, 2.75 goals against average, 905 save percentage. Over the past 10, I'm using past 10 stats now for power play and penalty killing Bobano. So that's the one change up from our prior shows. Winnipeg 6-4-0 over the past 10, playing it with a 21.4% power play and 87.9% penalty killing. Pittsburgh 20% power play, 88.6% penalty killing. So both penalty killings have been both special teams have been good from both these squads here, although Pittsburgh's record doesn't show it. Jets on the second half is back, as I said. They had their 5-game winning streak snapped Tuesday in a 7-5 loss to Detroit. I should have bet them on Thursday. I think it was just I needed the big winning night yesterday to start seeing things properly, because that was an easy. They're just a good hockey team, and they have Nikolai Ehlers back, and I don't know why I've got this vividness bias of them not being good. That's not the same under Bonus. There has been a sickness going through the Jets dressing room the last few weeks. I don't know if you've touched on that, Bobano, and if it's worse now or better, but this has been lasting now for 2 or 3 weeks. The Penguins have answered for their 6-game losing streak by winning at Arizona on Sunday and followed that up with a 5-4 win at home versus Vancouver on Tuesday. That came after the team went to Letang's father's funeral. Letang has not been in the Pittsburgh lineup since December 28th. He suffered a lower body injury. Then he went back to Montreal for the death of his dad. He could return tonight. Jeff Petrie skated before Pittsburgh's practice on Tuesday. It doesn't sound like he is ready to play tonight. Let's start with the line history, and I guess we don't need the cash flow for NHL, so let's just go with the line history. Line history here has the Jets opening up plus 157, they're now plus 158. No movement there. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 6.5 as a pick'em, being a 5-cent move to the over. Take it away for us here, Bobano. The floor is yours. Oh wow, Coin saying Tokarski likely.
Tokarski's in net, yes.
Ooh.
Smith and Jarry are both on the injured list right now.
Ooh. The Smith is on the injured list as well. Dustin Tokarski, a goaltender who we saw in the World Juniors and thought he had a big career ahead of him, and he's not being able to deliver on the NHL level. And I don't know if he's an NHL quality.
I beg your pardon. DeSmith got pulled. DeSmith's healthy, actually. DeSmith is healthy. DeSmith got pulled in that crazy game against Vancouver. Remember, Vancouver got off to that 3-0 lead. He got pulled. Tokarski came in. Tokarski was very good after that. And yeah, this is actually not injury or health related or illness related or anything like that. This is just a coach's decision. We're playing Dustin Tokarski. Came in net in relief for DeSmith, played well. He's back in net tonight.
Wow. I don't know if I trust that. What are your thoughts on that and the game?
My thoughts are probably I'm looking at Penguins team total over in this game. I don't think this is a great spot for, Winnipeg, third road game in 4 nights, the illness running through the team. Ville Heinola, and Morgan Barron are the two players dealing with it now. But Rick Bowness has said it's been running through the room. Everybody's been, under the weather a little bit at some point. But right now it's mostly Ville Heinola and Morgan Barron that are game time decisions due to this little illness. Same thing with Perfetti. Perfetti was sick last night in the game against Buffalo, but he played through it. Only 9 minutes of ice time, though, and didn't get much ice time in the third period. So you got to wonder if maybe he got worse with the illness. But yeah, I mean, the flu bug's running through the team. Whatever illness is running through the team. They're on a back-to-back. They got the win last night against Buffalo, so it's not like there's that sense of urgency tonight, taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think the team total's the best way to go because I think it's a wild card with Tokarski, what you can expect from him. He's been really good in some games, and then there's games he gives up 5 or 6. When we saw that when he was with the Buffalo Sabres, which is the team he was with and the organization he was with most recently. So what I do feel comfortable with more than anything is that Pittsburgh can probably get 4 goals behind David Rittich. David Rittich, by the way, will likely be in net tonight for the Jets after it was Hellebuck last night. His numbers aren't terrible this year, but the last couple games haven't been nearly as good. He gave up 4 goals to the Canucks. That game was 7-4, 3 goals or more in 3 of his last 4 starts. He has a lifetime 3.56 goals against average against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So the Penguins have done pretty well against him. So I still might play over 6.5 as well, but I'll definitely be on the Penguins team total over 3.5 in this game. So I'll, for now, just make that one official here. Penguins team total over 3.5 minus 117.
Wow. Look at those numbers from Tokarski at Wilkes-Barre. I'm astonished. And I mean that. He's never had a full season in the AHL with a save percentage over like a full season. I mean, more than 20 games, let's say. With over 915. I guess he had 919 in 2013, 2014 in Hamilton. But other than that, I mean, he's not looked good at the AHL level, and that's why he bounced around from Lehigh Valley, Hartford, Charlotte. Then he goes to Wilkes-Barre, and then, Buffalo gets him. So then he's in Rochester. He's not looked good. He's looked very good this year. 2.22 goals against average, 926 save percentage. So, he's a 33-year-old. Maybe this is, maybe this is a spot where the boys will rally around this veteran, goaltender who's not succeeded this year. Wow, this was not.
Well, remember, Dustin Tokarski made one of the great saves all time in the World Junior Hockey Championship, like whatever it was. How long ago was it? Probably 15 years ago at this point. Yeah, it's just an incredible save he made, and he's always had those moments where you look at him and you say, oh, there's some talent there, but obviously, NHL is a totally different, animal in terms of whether you can make it there, sustain success full time as a goaltender. But he's had those little glimpses, and maybe this is one of those times. He does have good AHL numbers, and again, when he entered the game in relief of DeSmith against Vancouver, he played well.
Wow, it's expensive. Pittsburgh's expensive. I can understand. So what did you get, Bobano, for the team total over?
The thing is with these guys that all of a sudden, hey, he comes in to a game and plays well, and he's 33 years old. He is a journeyman, there's no question. But journeymen can have these little stretches, at least for a few games where they play well. There's no question. We've seen Vancouver's goalies, of course. Look at Spencer Martin, what he's been able to do earlier, in his time with Vancouver. It's possible for Tokarski for at least a couple games to catch lightning in a bottle here.
Absolutely. And I heard a goalie coach on the radio maybe 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, talking about exactly that an ECHL goalie can come up. The thing that makes the Vasilevskis different from everyone else is they do it consistently every 2 nights. What was your line on the Penguins team total over?
Minus 117.
Over 3.5 minus 117. Wow, this is a surprise. And Christopher Commentini saying Penguins -1. It's pretty expensive, man. That's a pretty expensive price.
That's why I like the team total, because they've scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. So 4.5 goals per game on average against Arizona and Vancouver. And obviously, it's probably it is a better defensive team, Winnipeg, than either of those two. But nevertheless, it's not a great spot for the Jets, and they've got Riddick, not Hellebuck, in net. So I think this team can get to 4 goals here on home ice.
Huh. Yeah, I get it. I'm going to take a good look at the -1. This wasn't on my radar. I've made 2 bets already in NHL. But I'm now very interested. Okay. All right. Let's move on. We have Bobano on the board. Next up for us, New Jersey Devils, 26-12-3, 15-2-1 on the road at the Anaheim Ducks, 12-26-4, 8-12-1 at home Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Vitek Vanacek between the pipes, I've got listed at 16-5-2, 2.37 goals against average, 9.13 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Johnny Gibson, 7-18-3, 4.07 goals against average, 8.96 save percentage, 1 shutout. He's not being good. Devils 5-4-1 over their past 10, 20% power play, 87.1% penalty killing. Anaheim 3-6-1, 12.1% power play, 85.3% penalty killing. Move over to the line history in this one. We have the Ducks opening up as plus 222 dogs. They're now at plus 256. This keeps going up. See what it's moved up at 365. So it's even moved up there. Wow. So I guess I should have waited. Damn. So I guess I'm hinting at what my move. Oh, it only moved 3 cents. Okay, I don't need to get upset about that. Okay, so totals wise, this opened up at Pinnacle at 6.5 minus 109 to the over. It's now minus 113 to that over. Devils coming off their second straight win, 5-3 at Carolina on Tuesday. And look, it's been fun watching Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier finally both be healthy. Now, we were halfway through the season. They've both been healthy. Hughes, 26 goals, 23 assists, 49 points in 41 games, plus 14. Hischier, 19 goals, 21 assists, 40 points in 40 games, plus 13. And then we're seeing, put on your general managing hat, what a defensive accountable forward like a Thomas Tatar is capable of. He's shining around all this offensive talent. He's I don't have it here, but I believe he's a plus 20. He's over a 20, and plus my 23 or 24. And he's also got 9 goals, 16 assists in 41 games. And Andre Palat returned on January 5th. I mean, you have to think that Tatar and Palat are the perfect forwards to put with these young, skilled, offensive-minded guys. The Ducks coming off their second straight lopsided loss, 6-2 at home versus Edmonton on Wednesday. We've seen them get beaten up on back-to-back occasions and then show something finally. They've lost their last 2 games to Boston and Edmonton by a combined score of 13-3. This is also the final game of a 10-game homestand that started before Christmas, and Christmas kind of broke it up a little bit, but a 10-game homestand, and they're haven't been good. They haven't been good in this homestand. Zegras has been a big disappointment this year. It's tough coming to the rink every day knowing you're going to lose, and he's not handling it well. 12 goals, 19 assists, 31 points. He's a minus 20 in 42 games. And Klingberg, we've spoken on the show, has just been a massive disappointment. I really thought he was a nice piece to this puzzle. He's a minus 24 in 35 games. In saying all that, and Matty I says 175 likes and the taint comes. Smash like button. In saying all this, Slatsy, this is one of my bets that actually goes with your useless trend of the day. Devils 1-6 last 7 Anaheim. I think this could now look. The Devils are 15-2-1 on the road. They're spectacular on the road. I still have a feeling that coming over, it's very wintry and shitty, and then they come over to California, and this is their first game on the road trip against a very poor hockey team. And this is the Ducks' last home game before they go on a long stretch of road games. I like the Ducks first period. I took them at plus 167. I've done well with the Ducks in the first period this year, and that's my look. I'm on the Ducks first period at plus 167. Bobano, the floor is yours. Devils, Ducks.
Yeah, I probably won't be involved in this game really overall. I mean, I applaud you for taking a chance with Anaheim. It's hard to because sometimes, the team's been at home for so long, they actually need to get on the road. They need to get away. And I think you're starting to see, I remember Daryl Sutter said something like that about Calgary earlier in the year when they had like 8 or 9 straight at home. And then as the homestand kept going, the team kept playing worse. And so I think you're kind of seeing that here with Anaheim. But, New Jersey, look, I want to ride New Jersey a little bit after, because I think they might go on a run a little bit. What they've done the last 2 games is very impressive, beating the Rangers, beating Carolina, 2 very good hockey teams, but not in this price range. I mean, if I'm looking at the Devils and not when they're laying this kind of number, that's for sure. So at the same time, total, is 6.5. I can't bet an Anaheim under, but series history has been all unders. We've seen 6 straight. So, yeah, this is just an easy pass. We can move on to the next game.
Elliot V says Devils will be up 2-0 after the first period, so he's heavily against my look. With the Ducks, we saw this recently in this homestand. They lose 6-1 to the Predators. Then they lose 4-1 to the Flyers. Then they beat the Stars 2-0 and then beat the Sharks 5-4. But that game against the Stars, Gibson stepped up. And going to the Stars side of things here, the Stars, it was just a 2-day LA trip. I forgot that was with their
Anaheim did shut them out 4-0 at home last year. New Jersey.
Yeah. Look,
different New Jersey team though.
And TJ says, look at the Devils' first period scoring. It's very poor. A lot of people looking at the Hughes shot total over. And TJ says, New Jersey's only been leading after first period once in the last 10 games. Sammy Comer says, Devils haven't left the East Coast for weeks. Love the look. And big balls coming out. Sladzy says, on Kraken last night and Ducks tonight. Look, these are the spots that I know that I can succeed in the long run. Yeah. But here, it could blow up my face. I feel like it's a play. When we talk about the psychological spots, these actually correlate with the numbers. But this is a psychological spot for me. The Devils get to be in the warmth for a little bit and start a road trip against, the worst team in the league, or arguably the worst team in the league. So I am on the Ducks first period. All right, so there we go. Final game here for us, Bobano and myself in NHL is another move that I've made. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Edmonton Oilers 22-18-3, 12-7-1 on the road at San Jose Sharks 13-22-8, 4-11-6 at home. We're at the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Jack Campbell, you have your chance. You have your chance right now, and you better make something of it. And I don't know if he will. I am betting that he will, though. This opened up with the Oilers at minus 155. They're now minus 160. This total opened up at 6.5. We see a 7 on the board. It's really a highly juiced 6.5. It was minus 133 over 6.5. Now it's the overs plus 116 over 7. So it's whatever you would prefer here. And then Edmonton 5-4-1 over the past 10. 25% power play, 75.8% penalty killing. San Jose 3-5-2, 16.1% power play, 88.5% penalty killing. Edmonton snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 6-2 win at Anaheim on Wednesday. And Edmonton dominated. They outshot the Ducks 53-23. They looked really good. Now, you, like myself, may have been watching Bobano talk about Klim Kostin and talk about how Bobano was on his player prop. And I was like, who? What? And so 2017 first round pick by the Blues, 31st overall, 6'3", 215 pounds. Who wouldn't want to take a chance on a guy like that? Why did the Canucks not have interest when the only players who are playing over their head on the Canucks are the Russians? Why wouldn't we want a little bit of truculence and toughness? In the game that Bobano cashed on, Kostin scored twice on 6 shots, added 2 hits. He's doing this on the third line. I love the line setup for the Oilers right now, except, McDavid does not get a lot of help with this setup. But now you have 3 lines that can fire because this Kostin's on the third line with Nuge. So the Blues traded the forward, Kostin, to St. Louis on October 9th for Dmitry Samorkov, a 23-year-old defenseman who's not looked very good this year. 6'3", 198 pounds, but he's not tough. All I care about is someone showing me that they're tough. That's why if you offered me Oliver Ekman Larson and Garland, I would have laughed in your face and said, we want to be a tough team to play against. We don't want to be a team full of tiny pussies with toddler shoulders. But look, Benning will make that trade 10 times out of 10, and that's why he doesn't have a job, and that's why I will ski mask him if I find him. The Sharks come in off their third loss in 4 games, 4-3 at the Kings on Wednesday. This is their third game in 4 days. Where do you want to fade the Sharks? There's only one place. That's at home. I'm on the Oilers -1. Floor is yours, Bobano. Oilers, Sharks.
It's funny. I had a Jordan Kristanovich on my Ice Guys show yesterday. Former NHL pro hockey player, lives in Vancouver these days. Obviously, he's not a Canuck fan, but sure as shit, we're talking about Vancouver and Tampa Bay on the show. And Jim Benning's name comes up, talking about the horrible job that he did. So it's not just you. There's many people that just go back and look and say, what a fucking horrible job you did, man. What an absolutely brutal, despicable butcher job as a general manager that you did to this franchise. So trust me, it is not just you with that opinion of Jim Benning.
Oh, I know it's just awful. It's just awful. The life of a Canucks fan has just been losing and losing and losing and losing and losing and fucking losing. Yeah. Sorry. So let's move on with the Oilers Sharks,
yes,
my man.
I am I'm going about this a little bit differently here for good value. And I think there's really good value in this bet. And it's actually a bet that our guy Rocco in the chat mentioned it. Look, I finally said, you know what? I need to start betting these. These are good value. These are good prices. Last night I had Tampa Bay and over 5.5 combo bet against Vancouver plus 100. What a great price. Even money. Lightning money line and over 5.5 in the game. That's what you've got to start doing, some of these bigger favorites. And it's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go Edmonton Oilers money line and over 5.5 in this game, plus 142 at Pinnacle is where you can get this bet. And if you're betting it there, you look under game props when you click on the Edmonton San Jose game, and you will see it under winner/total goals category. Edmonton Oilers and over 5.5 plus 142. I think it's a terrific price. Edmonton games, it's not asking much for Edmonton games to get to 6 goals right now. And when I look at it, it doesn't matter who's in net for San Jose, Kakkonen or Reimer. They're not keeping the puck out of the net. It's actually been worse at times for them on home ice, the San Jose Sharks, in terms of defensive hockey. You look at recent home games, Jimmy, 4 for Boston, 4 for Philadelphia, 7 for Calgary. They've really had a hard time keeping the puck out of the net. Really, since the Christmas break, they gave up 6 to Vancouver, 5 to Dallas, 5 to Anaheim. I mean, to me, Edmonton should get 4 or 5 here in this game. And I think, look, they shouldn't be satisfied either, because that LA game that they played, and it's no wonder they put the boots, Jimmy, to Anaheim, because that LA game was a sorry-ass performance by the Oilers. They got destroyed in special teams. Penalty kill was horrible against the Kings. Their own power play got shut down by the LA Kings. The defensive play was horrible, and they responded the way they should have. They beat the hell out of a bad hockey team. 53-23 and they won that game 6-2. You can't just say, all right, there we go, guys. We answered the call after that bad game against LA, and now you slough off again. They can't afford to. I mean, they're playing for their playoff lives right now. This is another beatable team. You got to go in there and take care of business. And Jack Campbell was solid. Didn't face a ton of shots against Anaheim, but it's a step in the right direction for a guy that's been lacking confidence all year, who's not had the season he hoped for. So let's see if he turns it around. That being said, Jack Campbell can play great. He'll probably still give up a couple goals. I think Edmonton gets 4 minimum tonight. So I really like this bet. They win the game, Edmonton money line, and over 5.5 plus 142, and I love the price.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We have a team that we believe in against the Sharks team that's won 4 of 21 home games in regulation. So we want to attack that, and we need to figure out how to get the juice down. And Bobano has done it spectacularly, plus 142.
And I get 5.5 instead of 6.5 with the total, which in some games can be very significant.
And if you want to do that in regulation, It's available at FanDuel at plus 175. I don't think that's necessary because San Jose's been so porous in the extra stanza. I don't think that's necessary. For me, I took just the -1. Here's the -1 calculator again in the chat if anybody needs it. All right, let's review NHL action and get on to college basketball. NHL action. Bobano's on the Penguins. Team total over 3.5 at -117. And Dustin Tokarski's numbers in the A have thrown me for a bit of a loop. He was coming to the rink every day with the Sabres in front of him, a Sabres team that was the worst team in the league. Now he's coming up and seeing Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and sold out arena and wasn't on my radar, but I'm starting to think that Penguins -1 may be on my radar. I dig the way Bobano went after the team total 3.5 -117. Ducks first period for me at plus 167. I was wondering if it would move further in that direction. It is, but it's only moved 3 cents on that first period at plus 170. So I'm not that upset. Oilers money line over 5.5 at plus 142 for Bobano. I'm on the Oilers -1, and I got that at -104. I built my own. A lot of different looks here. And Matty Ice says that's a bet he makes a lot in NHL to get the juice down. A coin looking at that Edmonton team total over 3.5 at -120. It's there at the stations there in the desert. And Rocco Rogers says Skinner had his baby. We might get Skinny. I wonder if you'd start him back at home. Isn't this the end of their? Yeah, it's just I believe this is just a 3-gamer. I believe, and then they go home. But
they only confirmed that Skinner is probably going to miss the Anaheim game, tonight's game, and probably the Vegas game as well. And
okay,
they're
going
to rejoin them. Yeah, he's going to rejoin them after.
Sweaty Butcher looking at the Butcher's prime cut. Edmonton San Jose over at 6.5. All right, there you have it. Let's move on to college basketball here, where Bobano has been lights out. Let me get this up here. His overall record in college basketball right now, very impressive. 33-20, 62.3%, plus 10.88 units. His ROI is over 20%, 20.53%. His average line's -111. I had this up for whatever reason. My notes and my numbers are disappearing as soon as I put them up. But I wanted to just go over last week here because it was a very impressive, as we've been hammering on Fridays now, the entire card. Last week, you went 7-3. 7-3 here. And a lot of people find these Friday cards tricky. These are my favorite cards these are my favorite show. The Friday college basketball here with these small schools and small markets. I truly believe we can attack, and Bobano's been doing just that. I'm coming off a 5-3 day. Minnesota cashed that plus 14.5. They won outright. Iowa -5.5. I was fortunate. I cashed that in overtime. Oregon -5 was a mistake, but Arizona State, Oregon over 137.5 was an easy casher. Southern Utah, I told you guys it was the best bet on the board. First half and full game double up was very easy cashers. At that point, I'm 5-1. Unfortunately, I took BYU first half instead of full game. That lost, and Utah +12 was a big mistake. And I should have realized it. When you look back at the mistakes you're making, UCLA allowed USC to come right back and almost beat them. I should have known that they were going to put the hammer down on Utah for the full 40, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake by me, and it cost me what could have been even a stronger night. All right, let's get to work here in NCAA basketball.
I just want to say a shout out in the chat. I see, and I love it. I love seeing it, that a lot of people are tuning into Connor, Mack, and myself for Net Profit at 5 p.m. Eastern. I see a lot of people commenting on the two of us and the work we've done on that show. So it's much appreciated. Thank you, everyone watching Net Profit, 5 p.m. Eastern on weekdays.
Oh, yeah. It's a great show. Absolutely great show. Let's get to work here. We start 5 p.m. Eastern. Yale Bulldogs, 11-5, 4-4 on the road at Cornell. Big Red, 12-4, 7-1 at home. We're at Newman Arena in Ithaca, New York. Yale playing at a slow pace, 68.4 possessions a game. Cornell playing much quicker, 73.9 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the aligned history here and set a quick table for Bobano. We have 13 games that we're going to be motoring through here. Move this over and let's go. Here we go. Yale, Cornell. All right. Yale. Oh, sorry. Just take 1 second here. Come on. Move. Here we go. Bookmaker. Let's go over to Pinnacle. Yale opening up as a very slight slight favorite. Okay, there we go. Pinnacle. Yale opening up. Wow, different at Pinnacle than Bookmaker. Yale opened up at +1.5 at Pinnacle. That was last night at 7:15 p.m. They've switched to the favorite. They're now -1 at -107. From a total perspective, it opened up at 145. The first move was a drop down to 144.5, but it's up at 145.5 right now. So a legit move towards Yale. To give you a idea for the money line, it opened up at even money, and now it's -113. Got up to -117, but it's -113 right now. And from a cash flow standpoint, 3,092 tickets in. It's another fun thing about Fridays with the smaller amount. We have big ticket amounts for us to break down. They've given line value towards Cornell, but the betting public does not believe in that. 54% of the tickets are on Yale, and 87% of the cash is on Yale. 64% of the tickets are on the over, and 73% of the cash is on the over. Yale snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 58-54 win at home over Harvard on Saturday as 7-point favorites. Cornell comes in off having their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 75-68 loss at home versus Princeton on Saturday as 3-point favorites. Interesting spot here. Take it away, Bobano. Yale, Cornell.
Yeah, I like over in this game. I do. In these kind of games where it's a clash of pace, you got to see which team is going to get their pace, which team is going to get their preferred way of playing. And usually I defer to the home team being that team. And, I think we'll see that here with Cornell in this matchup here. Now, against Princeton, their last game, they lost 75-68. Cornell plays, very, very fast, 37th in the country in tempo, 52nd in offensive efficiency. They're not great defensively, though. And that's why I think Yale could probably do some damage against them. I think what's critical here is that Yale is not a great perimeter shooting team, but the real weakness of Cornell is that paint interior defense. They're awful. Any kind of penetration into the paint, into the lane, they're too soft around the rim. They're not good defensively inside, and Yale really feasts offensively in that area. So it's really, I think, a situation where Yale can really score the way they want to in this game. And that's why I think this game goes over. Yes, Yale is going to play slow. Yale is going to slow things down, try to play in the half court. But I think they're going to be very efficient because their offensive, style, which is pound the paint, is going to work well here against Cornell. And on the flip side, when Cornell has the ball, they're going to be looking, push that ball up the court quickly, get the first shot that they can find. And on their home floor, Cornell throughout the season, the Princeton game was an anomaly for the most part here. When they've played at home, they've put up some big numbers, offensively, and been trending that way. We've got series history on our side as far as the over, 8-2 in the last 10 meetings between these Ivy League schools, including 6-1 in the last 7 meetings have gone over the total. So that's where we're going here. Yale and Cornell over 145.5.
You got it. 145.5. That's -105 over at 5 dimes. I'm thrown for a bit of a loop just because I think this is an angry Cornell group after losing at home to Princeton. They were just light favorites,
and they're good at home. Very good home court too.
Yeah, I think that's going to keep me off of this. But your over is clearly where the sharp action is. So I'm going to take a closer look at the over. I'm going to put a bunch of asterisks beside it. I'm very interested in it. This game pops off at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Gives you a chance to get through the last bit of your work day.
Yes.
It's a fun one here. A fun one. Okay. Lucas Bryan says, Capper's question, how many hours a week would you say you spend on handicapping? Wow. Every possible second. The better you're doing, the more time you're putting into it. I find that when you go through a losing streak, you're like, oh God, I just want to get up, shake it off. But like, I told my family, I was like, just on Thursday, all day and all night, and all, I'm just going to work and work and work. And it feels so good when you're succeeding. And the prep process is the most enjoyable part of all of it. I just love it. I really, really enjoy it. But I'd be interested to see exactly how much it makes up. But it's definitely not time wasted. I enjoy it immensely. All right, so Bobano on the over 145.5 at -105. That's our first game on the board. Skip an hour and a half to 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and we have Kent State Golden Flashes 13-3, 4-3 on the road at Ohio Bobcats 9-7, undefeated on Convocation Center Court in Athens, Ohio. Both teams played a similar pace. Kent State 71.4 possessions a game, Ohio 71.6 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And we have Kent State opening up at -3.5. They got up to -5. It's come back a half point. This came back 30 minutes ago to 4.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 141.5 and is now at 142.5. We take a look at the cash flow. We have 2,534 tickets in. 84% of the tickets and 81% of the cash is on Kent State, and the market moved a point in their direction. It was a point and a half, but now it's a point. And then for the totals, we have 21% of tickets on the under, but 38% of the cash on the under, but it's gone up a point. So the market not concerned about that money. Kent State comes in off their 7th straight win, 75-63 at home over Toledo as 4-point favorites on Tuesday. They shot just 38.6% from the field. And I love betting on teams that can win when they shoot 38.6% from the field. And they didn't just win, they won by 12 as 4-point favorites. They only turned the ball over 6 times. They played clean basketball. They won the board battle against Toledo 44-35. Ohio snapped their 2-game losing streak on Tuesday night with a 76-71 win at home over Ball State as 2-point favorites. Take it away for us, Bobano. Kent State, Ohio Bobcats.
Yeah, this is one where, first of all, Ohio was in a very good spot the other night. It just felt like it was for as well as Ball State was playing going into that game, it just felt like this is Ohio's spot to bounce back. After 2 road losses, they got the job done. And now they're home again and a home underdog against Kent State. We'll see how they fare here. I really don't want to go against Kent State. I like the way this team's played. That being said, on the road at Miami, 69-66, they won by 3 as 11-point road favorites. They've at UTEP, 1-point win, 6-point road favorites. Their road favorite record the last couple times hasn't really been great. So, does Ohio get a little bit of momentum from that win? Very possibly. It is worth noting Kent State last year won 2 of the 3 meetings. Kent State beat Ohio in the MAAC tournament in March as well. So keep that in mind. Basically, Kent State ended Ohio's season last year. So maybe a little bit of a revenge angle here for Ohio. This is one of those where Kent State, to me, is the better team. But I think spot-wise and value-wise, it might be a little bit toward Ohio here. So tough game. I'm off it.
It does sound tricky. I don't really feel like I can find an angle at this point here. And I think the fact Matty Ice just, saying that Ohio is legit and we've seen what they've done at home, and you put that together, Real Deal Prime saying Ohio is motivated. And he says double revenge spot, and he's off of it too. So, okay. So let's move on to one of the big ones. Big Ten action, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, let me get here. We go. Nebraska Cornhuskers 9-8, 2-4 in the Big Ten, and number 3 ranked Purdue Boilermakers 15-1, 4-1 in the Big Ten. We're at Mackey Arena for this one. Nebraska playing in the pace 69.5 possessions a game. Purdue 67.2 possessions a game. We have Purdue opening up as 15-point favorites. The first move was towards Purdue 15.5. Since then, it's come down to 14.5 over at Pickle. And this total opened up at 132. It's now at 133. We have 3,092 tickets in. 44% of the tickets and 89% of the cash is on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Very interesting. And the market seems to have noticed it enough to move it to 14.5. So I'd be curious to see what BetOnline opened this up at then, if I'm even thinking about Nebraska. Nebraska's been very good to me when I've been on them. They opened up Nebraska at plus 15.5. If you want Nebraska right now at plus 15, that's at minus 115. So it's juiced over there. Very interesting. Nebraska comes in off its second loss in 3 games, and it was ugly. 76-50 loss at home versus Illinois on Tuesday as 3.5-point dogs. I can imagine the angles I would use coaching this club, because if you play anything like that, you're going to lose by 40 points and be laughed at, pointed and laughed at for the entire game. Now, I would also open hand slap everybody as well. Purdue bounced back off at 65-64 home loss to Rutgers by winning at Ohio State 8 days ago and then beating Penn State at home on Sunday as 5.5-point favorites. Ohio State, Penn State, tough opposition. Is this a possible spot where maybe they're not paying attention or not focused against Nebraska? Take it away for us, Bobano, Nebraska, Purdue.
Yeah, this one is, 15 is a lot to lay. I'm not going to lay 15 with Purdue, but this is their first home game since that loss to Rutgers. Maybe an opportunity here for them to bounce back strong. I mean, knowing that the last time they were here, they didn't play well. It was a heartbreaking loss right at the end. They lost 65-64, but they did bounce back. As you mentioned, they won on the road at Ohio State and Penn State. Very impressive at Penn State. 76-63 was the final score in that game. You look at these two teams as well. I'll tell you what, Nebraska's defense has improved. There's no question. I'll give them that. They've been a better defensive team so far this season, which has been good to see. I still worry about in terms of their defense in the interior, and this is a Purdue team now with Zach Edey, the big guy. A lot of their offense now goes through the middle, goes through the paint area, the interior, and they're obviously very good. They excel scoring around the rim. Nebraska is mediocre, I guess you could say, 2-point percentage defense. They're actually a better perimeter defense, which, again, Purdue doesn't shoot the three ball nearly as much because they're more of a post-oriented offensive team now as opposed to a perimeter offensive-oriented team. So definitely keep that in mind. So Purdue should be able to score some points here. I'm kind of interested in a Purdue team total over. I mean, I could go in that direction rather than laying the 15. That's often what I do, is maybe look toward a Purdue team total over. Like, look at last night, I believe, with Arizona and Oregon State, where if you laid the points with Arizona, you didn't cash. But I think if you took their team total over, you did cash. So that could be one of those games here where if you don't want to lay 15, you can always look Purdue team total over. Lean Purdue team total over. But other than that, I'm going to pass on it.
So just one thing to correct, because it would change my angle drastically. They beat Penn State at home. So they did have the one home game after the loss to Rutgers, right?
Well, it was a where did they play that game? Yeah, the Palestra. It was actually close. It was essentially a Penn State home game, but it was at the Palestra. That game. It wasn't on Penn State's home floor, but it was closer to Penn State than Purdue.
Okay, that's important. Okay, yeah. Wow. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Philadelphia. Palestra's in Philadelphia. Legendary venue.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So then,
one of the cathedrals. Yeah.
Wow. So then they're back. You're right. They're back on their home court for the first time since that loss to Rutgers. Wow. Okay, well, maybe that changes the idea that they could come in lazy or lackluster. Wow, that's very important. Thank you for clarifying that for me, Bobano. I guess that's going to keep me off of Nebraska first half. Okay. Ron Crawford says spreadsheet 63% Nebraska. I thought, okay, that's why we work together here. Okay. So no action, or are you moving on Purdue team total over?
That's just a lean for me. Just a lean.
All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. St. Peter's Peacocks in action, 7-9, 2-5 in the Metro Atlantic. Quinnipiac Bobcats, 12-5, 3-3. We're at M&T Bank Arena in Hamden, Connecticut here. St. Peter's playing at a slow pace, as always, 66.6 possessions a game. Quinnipiac at 70.7 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Quinnipiac opening up as 10.5-point favorites, now 10-point favorites. They were 9.5 at one point. From a total perspective, this opened up at 132. It's now at 133. We have 1,520 tickets in, 29% of the tickets and 45% of the cash is on St. Peter's. We've heard Bobano talk about the Metro Atlantic as being a conference where the Dogs cash often. St. Peter's comes off its third straight loss, a 67-60 setback at home in overtime on Sunday, 3.5-point favorites. They shot just 35.3% from the field and 19.2% from three. I know this is not a strong shooting team, but you have to think they can be better than that. But Quinnipiac, and Quinnipiac comes in off their third straight win, an extremely impressive 81-58 victory at home over Iona on Sunday as 6-point dogs. Is this a spot where, is this a letdown? Is this a letdown spot written all over it? Did Quinnipiac just deliver their season-defining victory, Bobano? Take it away, St. Peter's, Quinnipiac.
Well, I was happy to see it because I was on Quinnipiac on Sunday afternoon last weekend against Iona, plus 6.5 they were in that game, home underdogs. Iona's a team you're going to be able to make money betting against on the road. I mean, they have those games, Iona, every season where on the road they'll lay an egg every now and then. They're clearly one of the favorites to win the conference. Them and Siena, I think, are the two favorites. Although don't rule out Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac could be right there as well. They're playing some very good basketball. It's not at all, though, the best spot in the world for the Bobcats. I mean, they've won 3 in a row. They beat Manhattan on the road. They beat Ryder on the road. All 3 wins by double digits. So they're a scary team right now. I mean, offensively, they've been lighting it up the last 3 games in Metro Atlantic play. The only loss in Metro Atlantic play the last 4 games was at home against Siena, 83-76. Their defense has gotten better in conference play. I mean, earlier in the season, they were giving up some points, but, their last 3 conference games, 65, 63, and 58. I mean, to hold Iona to 19-64 shooting, just a terrific job by the Quinnipiac Bobcats in that game. We'll see if they can carry it over, that success here on the to this game here, hosting St. Peter's. Look, this is not the same St. Peter's team, all right? There's no question about that. Bashir Mason's having a tough time after Rasheen Holloway moved on to Seton Hall. They lost a lot of good players from that Cinderella team from the tournament last year. They're not at all good offensively. They're terrible offensively, in fact. They can't shoot straight. They're in the 300s in all the key offensive categories. And even their defense has fallen off. But let's be careful with saying the defense has fallen off totally. Iona, they gave up 73, kind of struggled. Siena, they gave up 70. Canisius, they lost in overtime. That's the bad loss. They should have beat Canisius 60, but they lost in overtime as 3-point home favorites, 67-60. I understand losing to Siena and Iona on the road, but I expected that to be a good spot for St. Peter's to bounce back against Canisius. They ended up losing in overtime, so they're struggling right now. Can't make shots. I think the defense has declined just a little bit, so definitely a worse team than they were last year. But this is definitely a little bit of a concerning spot, laying 10. And this is not a conference to lay 10 points, by the way, not routinely. This is a very heavy underdog type of conference. Road underdogs in particular usually do solidly in this conference. And if you actually look at head-to-head matchups here between these two teams, it's been pretty much all St. Peter's. They have gone in the last 7 meetings. St. Peter's is 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread in the last 7 head-to-head meetings against Quinnipiac. And the only victories for Quinnipiac were a 5-point win back in 2021, and that was the only win. Their only win was a 5-point victory back in 2021. 6-1 straight up for St. Peter's the last 7 head-to-head meetings. So there's been no evidence of Quinnipiac being able to beat this team by this kind of margin. So for me, Jimmy, this is a hold your nose special. I'm on St. Peter's here, plus 10.
I love that you are. I'm going to move on them first half. I love that you are backing them. I love the breakdown. This is exciting. So I'm going to be with you on this. Let's line shop for Bobano here, see what we can get him for.
What? Betano, which is a new book in Ontario, has it plus 10.5, minus 120. I'll take that. With St. Peter's.
All right, Bobano. So the Peacocks.
Bobano bets at Betano. It just makes perfect sense, right?
You need a deal for sure from them. Plus 10.5.
Bet like Bobano, bet at Betano.
Oh yeah, man. Okay,
for a TV commercial.
I'm gonna move on them first half. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got a great group in the chat. Christopher Comentini, Wine Time, Jason Torgy. We got Millsy. Millsy has the big UFC fights tomorrow night here on Pub Sports Radio. Mally Malcoin, Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford gave us a spreadsheet play today, VCU. We'll talk about that here shortly. And Matty Ice says you will get the Taint play today if we can get to 175 likes. Rodney Barton, R2D2 Finland gave us a look. Sanok to win on the money line. That's plus 400. plus 400. Starts in 10 minutes in Polish hockey. So that was about 5 minutes ago. All right, let's keep a roll. There's Swiss Horton in the house. Great to see you, JT Eel. Okay, we move on. So let me move over here. Next up for us.
For those of you knuckleheads out there, that's a combination of Swiss Chalet and Tim Hortons, by the way. Yeah.
We move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Siena Saints, 11-5, 4-3 on the road. Niagara Purple Eagles, 9-6, undefeated at home at the Gallagher Center in Niagara Falls, New York. Siena playing at a pace of 69.4 possessions a game. Niagara slowing it down, 65.9 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Siena Niagara. We have Durrell coming up next for NBA. Bobano will be hosting our NBA show here at 4 p.m. Niagara opening up at +1. They're now +2. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 128.5. We saw it drop all the way down to 127. It's right back at 128.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it helps us here. Siena Niagara, 1,774 tickets in, 76% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on Siena. Wow. Total wise, 75% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the over. And the over is not moving. Very, very, very interesting. Siena comes in off its 6th straight win, 68-63 at home versus Ryder, as 4-point favorites. And Niagara had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 64-59 loss at Manhattan on Sunday as 3-point favorites. Take it away, Bobano. Siena, Niagara.
Yeah, this one's really I'm not stepping in front of Siena. I'm not doing it. Siena is one of my favorite teams in this conference, and there's going to be a spot where they slip up. I'm kind of worried it's tonight, but I'm not betting the other side. I'm not going against Siena, like I said. 6-0 straight up, 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games. They've been great in conference play, terrific. In fact, I think they haven't lost a conference game. They beat Canisius back in December. They beat Quinnipiac on the road, an excellent Quinnipiac team. Fairfield by 9 on the road, St. Peter's by 10 at home, and then Ryder in their last home game, 68-63. And what's also been impressive for this team is that one of their best players is Javian McCollum for Siena. He missed the last game for Siena, still won that game against Ryder, 68-63. They dug in defensively. I mean, that guy averages 16 points per game. They didn't have him in that game against Ryder, and still were able to get the win there in that one. And Jace Johnson, who's another key cog to this team, has also been missing. So Siena's had 2 key pieces out and still winning games, still covering point spreads, still showing that they're very much a contender to win this conference. No question about that. It's tough to go against them, and they're only laying 2 here on the road. The one issue is Niagara's got a solid home court here at Gallagher Center. You look at head-to-head, Niagara beat Siena last year, 74-52 at home. The year before that at home, Siena only won by 2. And, of course, they're laying 2 here. And the year before that, Niagara won 64-62. Siena's really struggled here in this building. So this has been a little bit of a tough place to play for them. I think they're better than Niagara. Niagara is playing a little bit better lately. But I still think Siena's the better team. And just more than anything else, I don't want to fade a team that's just rolling straight up in ATS like Siena is. They've given me no indication that I should be betting against them. And I'm not. So Siena or pass, and I decided, I'm going to pass here.
I get why you would. Niagara an angry group after that 4-game winning streak. Siena, it's a very big opportunity for them to test where they're at this year. And we've seen huge bets all over Siena. I can understand why this is uncomforting, and I get it, and I'm going to stay off of it as well. We see people on both sides. We got our man Oliver Page in the chat. He's hanging with his sensei, checking out the show. Respect, Oliver. Thank you for sharing the show here with your friends and colleagues. And Jack Rosenblatt in the house says, wow, I've missed this. Great to see you, Jimmy and Bobano. Been out for a while for some medical issues I've been dealing with, and I'm on the road to recovery now. Love you guys, and happy Friday. That's what we want to hear, on the road to recovery. Great to have you back, Jack. We've missed you, man. Jack Rosenblatt in the house joining us. Everybody give Jack some love. Let him know.
Yes, Jack. Well done. Jack's a really good guy.
Yeah, great guy, great capper. Yeah. Great to see you back in the game with us, my guy. All right, let's move on. Next up for us is Manhattan. Mount St. Mary's is next. Oh, we have Jose is here. Beautiful. Great job, Jose, fighting the good fight. He was in jury duty and comes right over, but he set us all up with the graphics beforehand. Guy, tireless worker for us, and he's back in business. Manhattan, Jaspers, Mount St. Mary, Mountaineers. Jaspers are 5-10, 3-3 in conference. Mountaineers 6-10, 2-3. We're at Knott Arena. Manhattan playing at a pace of 71 possessions a game. Mount St. Mary 68.4 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Manhattan against the Mount. We have the Mount opening up at -7. This got down to -5.5. It's back at -6. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 129.5 and has dropped to 127.5. We have 1,622 tickets in, and it doesn't really help us. 53% of tickets are on Mount St. Mary's, but no cash numbers. On the total, it does. 49% of the tickets are on the over and 90% of the cash, and it's dropped 2 points. That would tell you that the over, the books want you to bet the over, and they're putting it at a really nice low price for you guys to bet the over. Do you have confidence fading that and taking the under? Let's see. Manhattan snapped their 3-game losing streak with a big 64-59 home win over Niagara on Sunday as 3-point dogs. Now they come out on the road. The Mount coming off their 4th loss in 5 games. It was ugly. 63-56 at Marist on Sunday as 1-point favorites. Take it away, Bobano. Manhattan against the Mount.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush to lay 6.5 with Mount. Does Manhattan get a little spark from beating Niagara 64-59 in their last game? We'll have to see on that. That their results have just been all over the place. They've had some ugly ones too. Really, really tough. And I'm still getting used to Mount St. Mary's being in the Metro Atlantic. This is actually their first season in this conference. But you look at both of these teams, and man, they both at times really can be nails on a chalkboard offensively. I mean, they both can go in massive scoring droughts. Neither of these, the one thing that does concern me too is that the Manhattan continues to just be dreadful shooting free throws as well. Terrible at the free throw line. Defensively, I think you give the advantage a little bit to Mount St. Mary's. Manhattan has kind of struggled at that end, but they've been even worse, I think, at times offensively. Mount St. Mary's isn't a great shooting team either. They're only shooting 41.8% as a team, which is definitely not exactly what you want to see in this game. Spot-wise, you've got a team that's really taken some beatings lately, taken their lumps, struggled on the road, like Mount St. Mary's, and now they're coming home. They've got a beatable opponent. It does kind of feel like a Mount St. Mary's spot, but I can't lay 6.5 with a team that's like in the 300s with their field goal percentage. You got to make baskets if you're going to cover this kind of number. Lean under, pass for me.
Yeah. I wonder if you lean under, can you just touch on why you lean on the under? Because seeing 90% of cash on the over and it dropping 2 points makes me want to find a way to get on the under. What do you talk to us about why you like the under?
Yeah, I mean, Manhattan, look at these scores, 57, 57, 64. 3 of their last 4 games going under. Mount St. Mary's is an under machine right now. You got 2 teams that Mount St. Mary's wants to play slow anyway, 242 in tempo. Manhattan's a little bit, they're middle of the pack tempo-wise. It's not like they run up and down the court, but they don't stall either. But regardless, I mean, they're 306 in offensive efficiency. You've got teams that are in the 300s in terms of their offensive efficiency numbers. You're not going to get a particularly high level of pace from either side, particularly Mount St. Mary's. And they're the home team. I think they'll want to dictate tempo and play in the half court, slow it down. So that's why I lean under 120. It's a low number, but it's low for a reason.
I think I'm going to jump on that under. That's what I wanted to hear. We got Dabby Cab in the chat, fresh off sweeping the board right here on Betting with the Bag yesterday. Great job, Dabby Cab. I'm interested in the under, and yeah, I would like Mount St. Mary's, but you're right. If you can't hit buckets, then it's probably 6 is probably a little bit too much. There's Good in the house. Great to see you, Good. Jack Rosenblatt, now a member of Pub Sports Radio. I love it. And NHL spreadsheet play today is the Devils -1.5. -1.5 is the spreadsheet play today. We'll talk about the college basketball play today here shortly. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Fairfield Stags, 6-9, 2-3 in the Metro Atlantic at the Iona Gales, 11-5, 4-1 in the Metro Atlantic. Heinz Athletic Center in New Rochelle, New York. Fairfield playing at a pace 67.6 possessions a game. Iona playing at a pace at 71.9. Did I skip a game? Okay, no. I guess I must have. Yeah, we must have just missed this in our. We must dismiss this. But all right, let's stay with this. Fairfield. Fairfield comes in off its second straight loss, 77-69 in overtime at home to Niagara as 3.5-point favorites last Friday. So they've been off for a full week. They shot just 31.8% from the field and 12.5% from three. When I look at that, I think I want to back this team here. But, and there's a huge but, Iona just got slapped in the face by Quinnipiac on Sunday as 6-point favorites. Had their 4-game winning streak snapped. So that's a spot that I want to back. So that throws a wrench into plans here. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. Clearly, you're going to have a very angry Iona Gales group, but they opened up as 14.5-point favorites, now 15.5-point favorites. This total opened up at 136.5, is now at 137.5. And cash-wise here, Fairfield has been given half line value. That is the that's the second highest on the entire card after a team that hasn't played yet. 1,774 tickets in, 31% of tickets, 87% of the cash is on Fairfield. We don't have numbers for the total. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Fairfield, Iona.
Yeah, I mean, Iona off the loss against Quinnipiac, they're going to be probably looking to bounce back. And if you actually look at their results this year, off losses, there's actually been one little common thread when they lost there. And that, look, 58 points. It's got to be close to a season low for this team. I don't even know if in any of their losses they shot that point. I know they didn't, because their other losses were SMU, New Mexico, Hofstra, Santa Clara, and they scored in the 70s still in most of those games. So you would expect a bounce back spot here for Iona here in this game. It is worth noting that after each of their last 4 losses, the game's gone over the total the next game. So what that tells me is off a loss, this team really, really revs it up offensively, and that's probably what I'm going to see here. They're back home, in their friendly confines of their home gym. I think you're going to see them have a really good offensive effort here, push that pace, and that's another thing too, is that didn't like the ball movement, Rick Pitino, apparently after the last game. He mentioned something about it in one of the quotes he said after the game. So I'd expect the offense to be better here. This is still a very good offensive team overall, this Iona squad. I think in the country they're 64th in offensive efficiency. So I'd expect them to get back to that here in this game. Fairfield's not a great offensive team, but they've picked it up a little bit here in a couple of their recent games. I mean, they scored 69 against Niagara in a loss, 73 against Marist. They've actually been a sneaky over team. Now, their totals have been very low, but this is not a team early in the season we wanted any part of overs with. But no, just in the last, 5 or 6 games, they've been just a little bit better offensively. And I think Iona is going to score a lot tonight. If Fairfield could just pick it up offensively, show that they've picked it up offensively enough the last few games, I agree with the move up in the total. I'm off the side, but I'm going to get there with the over here. 136.5 at BetMGM, minus 110, which is good. There's not, those are disappearing. There's a lot of 137s, but I see MGM's got a 136.5, minus 110. That's what I'm going to roll with here. Let's go over the total. Fairfield, Iona, over 136.5, minus 110.
I love it. I'm going to focus on the first half. I want the urgency, and I don't want them to be up by a lot and slow down or Pitino empty the bench. So I'm going to focus on the first half over, but I love the breakdown. That all works for me. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for us. 7 p.m. Eastern. Marist Red Foxes 5-9, 1-4 on the road at Canisius. Golden Griffins 4-11, 2-4 here at the Athletic Center in Buffalo. Marist playing at a pace 67.7 possessions a game. Canisius 71.7 possessions a game. Let's take a look and see what we are dealing with from an odds perspective. The Golden Griffins opening up at -5. They're now at -4. They went all the way down to -3. They've come back. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 129.5 and is up to 120, down to 128.5, but it came up from 127. Marist snapped their 5-game losing streak with a 63-56 win at home over the Mount on Sunday as 1-point dogs. Canisius comes off its second straight road win, 67-60 in overtime at St. Peter's on Sunday as 3.5-point dogs. See if they can carry that over here. But Marist has been given the most line value by any spot on the entire board, according to Sports Insights. 2,129 tickets in, 14% of the tickets on Marist, but 61% of the cash, 40% of the tickets on the under, and 89% of the cash on that under. Take it away here for us, Bobano. Marist, Canisius.
Yeah, this is, I'll tell you what, Canisius has been all over the map with their results this year in this conference, no question about that. 4-11. They are 2-3 at home. They're coming off, though, a couple of confidence-building wins in a row. Manhattan on the road, St. Peter's on the road. Kind of makes me feel it might be a little bit of a bet-on squad right now. But the question still remains, are you ready to lay 3.5, 4 points with them? I don't think so. And betting markets clearly agree because they bet Marist like crazy here. 5.5 down to a 3.5 here in this game. Marist lost by 19 at Fairfield, by 6 at Ryder. Series history-wise, Canisius has actually won and covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Last year, Marist 71-70 victory at home, and then Canisius with a 78-67 home win against Marist. What I'm going to look at here in this game, I mean, you look at the total where it is currently 128 in this one. Look, the reason this total is so low, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, you look at both of these teams offensively. Canisius is 270. Marist is 350. They're not particularly great at the offensive end of the basketball court. But for some odd reason, when these teams get together, they're better offensively against one another. I mean, the over's 8-1 in the last 9 meetings, head-to-head, Marist and Canisius. And look at the total points in these games. 145, 141, 153, 154, 131, I think was the lowest number of points we saw in this recent series. They've all gotten into the 130s at the very least, and we're dealing with a total here that's at 128 between these two teams. So that's what I'm betting over this number. I think it's just they're betting it down. I get that based on season-long numbers and offensive efficiency, and neither team particularly plays at a fast clip, 211, 272 in pace in the country. But you look at series history, and when they match up together, there's offensive advantages on both sides. And that's what I'm going with here, that the total's going in the wrong direction. So Marist and Canisius over 120. Let me just make sure, because there's a lot of various numbers here with it. We want to make sure we get the
there's a 127.5
at PointsBet, and at PointsBet and BetMGM, Jimmy, both of them have 127.5. So let's go with that over the total.
Yeah, interesting. The first action was on the over when it first came out, and then it started getting hammered to the under with big bets, and then it was deemed too low. I'm going to stay off of this total. It makes me nervous. And then I have some thoughts about Marist continuing what happened last game.
The big thing with the under getting the money and Marist getting the money, I think, is related to the status of Jordan Henderson for Canisius. He averages 13.5 points per game for this team. He hasn't played in the last 2 games for them with an upper body injury, but they've actually won the last 2 games without him. So and covered. So they've been able to obviously win games without him, no question about that. So. But I guess his status being up in the air is still and look, they bet against Canisius in those games too, and they still won and covered because of this guy maybe being out. But so keep that in mind. They've still won and covered without him.
Okay, let's keep moving here. Sorry, just answering our guy Von Polo there. Okay, let's keep rolling. Okay, we got to be really quick here because we have 10 minutes before we move into NBA.
Right.
5 games left. So Villanova Wildcats next up, 8-9, 2-4 in the Big East at the Butler Bulldogs, 10-8, 2-5 in conference. Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Villanova playing at a pace of 67.6 possessions a game. Butler at 69.7. Take a look at the line history for this one. Villanova opening up as 1-point dogs. They're now 1-point favorites. From a total standpoint, opened up from 133.5, went down to 131.5. Sitting at 132 right now. We have 2,788 tickets in. They've given some line value to Butler, but Villanova is 64% of the tickets and 86% of the cash. 82% of the tickets are on the over. 82% of tickets. We don't have a cash flow, but this line has dropped to 1.5, so the book's not respecting that. Both teams coming off 2 straight losses. Villanova comes in off its second straight loss, 75-65 at DePaul on Tuesday, 6.5-point favorites. They'd beaten DePaul 22 straight times before that setback. After losing at Seton Hall badly, 76-51 on Saturday, Butler traveled to St. John and lost by 16 there. 77-61 on Tuesday is just 3-point dogs. They have not looked good. Maybe coming home will be the tonic. Take it away for us, Bobano, Villanova, Butler.
We can move right on. Pass. I mean, look, that's supposed to be a spot where Villanova is supposed to respond against DePaul, a team they've owned after that loss against Xavier, and they didn't. That's a red flag for me. I'm not taking Villanova on the road now, but Butler's a mess. And to me, Villanova is still the better team. So it's just I can't get to either of these teams right now. So easy pass. I'd lean under, if anything.
A lean to the under. It's moving to the under, but the tickets are on the over. Huh. Can you just touch on that total for like 20, 30 seconds? I know we got to move on, but I'm feeling that might be the play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to trust either of these teams offensively. You only score 65 at DePaul, one of the worst defensive teams in the Big East. That's a problem. For Villanova, Xavier, they scored, but they gave up 88. They played Xavier's pace, and they paid the price for it. They just only scored 66 against Marquette. They've been more bad offensively than good. And Butler is wretched offensively. And they've been an under machine. They've gone 6-1 to the under their last 7. Nova's gone under 3 of the last 4 meetings. It's actually been crazy as it is to say this, an over series history. That's the one thing I'm worried about. They've had 6 straight games over the total head-to-head, these two teams, but I can't see it with the way these offenses are right now.
Okay, we will. I'm going to move on this under. Rob Free said San Francisco ruined an 11K parlay last night. I hate hearing that, Rob, but you come so close to these giant scores and you cash them all the time. So get that back for you. Taint play of the day is in. We will discuss it. So we have the Taint play today, and we have our guy Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today, both coming up here. Make America Great Again, looking at Nova. Let's move on for us. Next up for us, Eastern Michigan Eagles 4-12, 1-2 in the MAAC at the Akron Zips 10-6, 2-1 in the MAAC. James A. Rhodes Arena in Akron, Ohio. Eastern Michigan plays fast, 73.4 possessions a game. Akron does not, 68.9 possessions a game. Akron opening up as 14-point favorites. That's moved to 13.5. From a total standpoint, opened up at 141.5, shot up to 143. When we take a look at the cash flow for this one, they've given Eastern Michigan the tied for the third highest line value. 25% of the tickets, 44% of the cash is on Eastern Michigan. 56% of the tickets and 97% of the cash is on the over. That's gone up 1.5 points, got all the way up to 145.5. Take it away for us here, Bobano. The Zips at home against Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, in this one here, you're talking about laying a lot of points. You're laying a lot of points here with Akron. A team that, in conference, they played at Bowling Green last game. They won by 4. They lost it to Ball State. They did pummel Northern Illinois 76-51. Eastern Michigan, they've had some ugly losses, no question about that. But actually, as road underdogs, they've been competitive in some games. They only lost by 10 at South Carolina, by 7 at Niagara, by 6 at Illinois State. Last time on the road, they were at Western Michigan. They lost by 6. Now, in a lot of these games, they also didn't cover, but it also shows you that this is a lot of points. And last year at Akron, they were 11.5-point dogs, Eastern Michigan. They lost by 2. I'm on the EMU side here. It's just a few too many points for me, in my opinion. I think this Akron team is not nearly as good either, as they've been in recent seasons. So you're talking about, 13.5, 14 points. It's a huge number. Actually, at Caesars, it's plus 14, minus 110. So let's lock that in. Eastern Michigan, plus 14, minus 110.
Let's get that for you. I'm also interested here. What's keeping you off the over?
This one, in terms of the total, it's mostly why I don't love the total here in this one is because, offensive efficiency can be a little waning at times for both teams. Eastern Michigan will push. So, the fact that I lean Eastern Michigan probably means I do lean to the over here a little bit. You look at the last game at Western Michigan, it flew over the total. Akron's starting to get, a little bit more overs lately. They kind of were trending the other way early in the season. And you look at head-to-head here. The problem is the head-to-head, Jimmy. I can't get over the head-to-head. 9-1 to the under in the last 10. And we saw last year a couple meetings, 46-44, 67-48, real slog, defensive scrums. And yeah, that's why I'm just going with the side here.
I think I'm going to run with Matty Ice on this over. He says he loves the spot. I'm with Mally Mal. I'm going to take Eastern Michigan first half, correlated with your action on the full game over. The full game at plus 14. I'm going to take him first half. I'm with Mally Mal on that first half look. All right, let's keep rolling, and we got to speed up here. The next spot on the board is a big one. Michigan State Spartans, 12-4, 4-1 in the Big Ten at Illinois, fighting Illini, 11-5, 2-3 in the Big Ten. We're at State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois, and this is our live bet stream tonight. This is our live bet stream. Razor Sharp Picks and Dabby Cab will be hosting it. It starts at 8:45, 15 minutes before a tip-off, and we have from our guy Matty Ice a taint play of the day on this very spot. He is on Michigan State. Michigan State plus 6.5. It's gone up to 6.5. This opened Michigan State plus 5. They're now at 6.5. And Matty Ice says, bet it. The total opened up at 136.5. It's now at 137. Spartans are 12-4, 4-1 in the Big Ten. The Illini 11-5, 2-3 in the Big Ten. State Farm Center. We have Michigan playing at this slow pace, 68.8. Illinois flying, 73.3 possessions a game. Michigan State comes in off its 7th straight win, 69-65 at Wisconsin on Tuesday as 1.5-point favorites. Illinois comes in off its 3rd win in 4 games, 76-50 at Nebraska on Tuesday as 3.5-point favorites. They brought the hammer down on Nebraska. Browns Hughes is on the other side. He grabbed Illinois minus 5.5, but he says maybe cashing out after looking into it further. Let's take a quick look at the cash flow here for this one. 3,447 tickets in, and it's all Michigan State money. 91% of the tickets, 89% of the cash. I don't know why it's moving towards Illinois. Then you have 30% of the tickets, but 56% of cash on the under. 30% of tickets, 56% cash on the under. And that total's went all the way up to 138.5 before dropping. Fascinating. Take it away, Bobano. This is our Friday night live bet stream. Michigan State, Illinois.
Yeah, this is a good game. It actually is. It's a really interesting, intriguing, fun matchup here with these two teams. Michigan State's been playing really well of late now. And look, at Wisconsin, I'm very impressed with them at Wisconsin, and they broke my heart. I was on Wisconsin. Their 69-65 win, won and covered against Michigan, destroyed Nebraska 74-56. So a nice little run here in Big Ten play. And, of course, they had the win at Penn State last month. I think their only Big Ten loss was that shocking loss at home to Northwestern. Other than that, Michigan State's played pretty well. Illinois is turning it around too. The last 2 games were very impressive, Wisconsin and Nebraska. So you got 2 teams that are feeling good, playing good basketball coming into this game here between these 2 teams. We'll have to wait and see on this, but you look at the matchup here with these 2 teams. It's been very competitive here the last few. Last year, of course, they played each other twice. It was a 5-point win for Illinois and a 1-point win for Illinois. And to me, Illinois was better last year, a little bit better last year than they are this year. I could only look Sparty here, plus the points. I think it's probably a competitive game for going into this one. It wouldn't shock me in the least. You look at the way Illinois has actually not been as good defensively as Michigan State the last little bit. So we'll see how they fare here in this one. Michigan State, is probably a little bit weaker offensively, but their defensive numbers, at least in the short term, have been a little bit better than Illinois. So I'm actually leaning road underdog here in this one with the Spartans and the Illini. Over the total, might get there as well, 135.5. I'm going to mull on this. I'm going to think it over, and then when we wrap up the show, Jimmy, I'll confirm if I'm going to get involved in official status for this game.
I love it, and I'll be all ears. It's our live bet stream. There is our guy, Brent Bibby.
Wow.
In the house, a giant $50 dono. What a guy. Brent, much love to you, man. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. It means enormous amounts to us. Brent Bibby said, happy Friday, boys. Brent, you're a good man. Thank you so much for caring about us and thinking about us. It means a ton to us. What a guy. Brent Bibby supporting the show here. I love it. Brent Bibby. We move on to 2 more spots, and then we move on to NBA. We got Durrell ready to rock and roll. 9 p.m. Eastern, VCU Rams 12-3, 3-1 in the A10 at the Dayton Flyers 12-5, 4-0 in the A10. We're in Dayton, Ohio for this, and Dayton playing at a slow pace at 67 possessions a game. VCU playing at 71.6 possessions a game, and our guy, Ron Crawford, has found his spreadsheet play of the day with the Rams. VCU spreadsheet play of the day. Our guy moving on this one. Let's take a look at this.
Mike Williams out. Don't know if you guys saw that already, but Mike Williams out.
Unfucking believable.
For the Chargers. You stupid motherfucker, Brandon Staley.
Unfucking believable. Thank God I didn't bet it. Unfucking believable. Fucking schmuck. I mean, what kind? Like, look at how Daboll handled it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had what? Jesus, God damn! I've got futures on this football team. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Unconscionable is what it is that happened. That he played Bosa, and he got injured in that game. Thank goodness he's at least going to play. It almost got him decapitated in a meaningless fucking football game in week 18.
I can't believe. I mean, imagine. I cannot fathom that anybody would do something.
The move in that game is Jacksonville and teasers, and I've got Jacksonville in all kinds of teasers for this weekend.
This is the most violent sport. I mean, sure, you can say UFC is more violent, and we're not in semantics, but this is just this sport full of violence, and you have a meaningless game, and you put your stars in the line of fire. I mean, it's just, I'm just astonished. It makes me so angry, and there has to be repercussions. Oh God, get my ski mask and a plane ticket. All right, shit, that threw me for a loop, but that was big time breaking news, man. Most violent team sport. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. All right, let's get back to this VCI. I can't even focus now. God damn it. Just, for God's sakes. Okay. VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. Let's do a little line shopping here and see if I can stay focused and not smash my computer into pieces. VCU opening up at plus 7.5. That's where they are now. This came out last night at 7.18, and it has not moved up to 7.5. And the total has gone up half a point. That's the only thing that's done. Here we go. They've given a little bit of line value to VCU. 2,636 tickets in. 45% of the tickets, 90% of the cash is on Dayton. 79% of tickets, 69% of cash on the over. No movement in either of them. VCU comes off its second straight win, 78-64 at Loyola on Tuesday night as 3.5-point favorites. Dayton comes in off its seventh straight win, an 82-58 beatdown at Fordham on Tuesday as 7.5-point favorites. They shot 64.4% from the field and 42.9% from three in that win. Take it away, Bobano, VCU, Dayton.
Yeah, VCU Dayton. Dayton has been a team I didn't think was very good early in the season. Man, are they coming alive? I mean, unbelievable run. 7-0 straight up, 7-0 against the spread. They're destroying teams left and right. It's been a very impressive run for them, no question about that. You look at these meetings with these two teams. Road team was very good in both meetings last year. Road team won Dayton at VCU, but VCU won at Dayton, 53-52. I think we're now, though, when you look at it, Dayton's played Fordham, St. Joe's. Davidson was a nice win on the road. Duquesne was a good win, but Duquesne's been better at home than on the road. You know, Alcorn State, Wyoming was banged up when they played them. Asheville. You know, this is going to be a tough opponent now, and they're all of a sudden drastically raising the power rating here for Dayton after a bunch of these wins. And I think now when you look at this, there's actually two spots I like here in this game. I like VCU and over. I'm going to do a side and a total in this game. I like VCU plus 7.5. I think now they're at and I don't usually like standing in front of teams that are on this crazy straight up ATS streak like Dayton is, but you would have told me earlier this season Dayton would be laying 7.5 against VCU. I would have said, whoa, that's a little too much. Because look at last year. Last year at Dayton, Dayton was laying 4.5. Okay, they're laying 7.5 tonight. I think it's inflated. I like VCU here plus 7.5. I like the over as well. I think it's just a little bit too low. I think that we've seen Dayton improve offensively in recent games. VCU, I think, too, can score enough points. 129.5 minus 110. Bet MGM for the over.
Can get you that minus 105 at 5 dimes, so we'll do that. Bobano moving on a double up here and rolling with the spreadsheet play of the day. Spreadsheet play of the day. All right, let's move on to the final game on the board before we get into NBA. Utah State Aggies, 14-3, struggled on the road this year. 3-1. Nevada Wolfpack, 14-4, 8-0 at home. We're at the Lawler Event Center in Reno. Utah State playing fast, 72.9 possessions a game. Nevada playing slower, 68.9 possessions a game. Let's move on to the line history for this one. This is the DGen Friday night special. It pops off at 11 Eastern. Nevada opening up at -2 at -108. They're now -2 at -113. It did drop to 1.5 for a bit. From a total standpoint, opened up at 143.5. There's been a 5-cent move to the under. Just a 5-cent move since it came out last night. You have 2,433 tickets in Nevada with legit line value, almost 50%. 58% of tickets, 55% of cash on Nevada. 47% of tickets, 96% of cash on the under. The under's only moved 5 cents. Very, very interesting. Utah State comes in off its 4th win in 5 games, a comfortable 83-63 win at home over Wyoming on Tuesday as 10.5-point favorites. Utah shot 50.8% from the field and 44% from 3. These teams, Utah State, Southern Utah, they're very good at home. You pull them out on the road, and it's a bit of a different story. Nevada comes in off having their 6-game winning streak snapped in a 74-65 loss at San Diego State on Tuesday as 9.5-point dogs. I like Nevada here. Let's hear what Bobano has to say and see if we pull the trigger. Take it away, last game on the card, Utah State, Nevada.
This is another. I just want to see what the money line is here. Let me just see the money line on Nevada, because this is another double up for me, by the way, on this game, side and total. Nevada, let's go Nevada minus 125 money line at Bet365, Proline Plus, BetMGM. Multiple places have minus 125 in this game, and also over 143.5, minus 103 at Proline Plus. Over and Nevada. It's been an over series history. Both teams are shooting well. Both teams are trending over in their recent games coming into this one. Both teams won't be scared to push the basketball. Both of them are good to do that. And by the way, Bart Torvik, a site I use every day for college basketball, has this total at 147. So a little bit higher than what we're seeing right now. And I respect that site immensely for college basketball. So I think over 143.5 is a little light with the total. I think Nevada wins. They've been good at home. You're right. Utah State on the road. We saw them get blown out at Boise State in their last big Mountain West road game. Air Force, they won and covered, but Air Force is obviously not, one of the better teams in the conference. I think Nevada gets the job done here in this one. And like I said, it's gone over recently in the head-to-head meetings. Utah State's 5-1 to the over their last 6 games. Nevada's also 4-1. They're also 5-1 to the over their last 6 games. Series history trending over. So I like the home team. I like the over here.
The over. Browns Hughes, member asking what site you were just mentioning.
Which one?
That you look at every day for college basketball that had
Bart Torvik. Bart Torvik is the. I'll spell it for you. It is Bart BARTTORVIK.com. It's an excellent site. That's where I get all my stats from. Daily matchup charts, team charts, player, stats. Great site. Excellent site.
I know that there's a discussion about the violence football compared to hockey. I know there's some talk about rugby, and we don't have time to get into this today. And we can get into it another time. But I agree with Dan Kelly. I played both sports. I just think that the damage that's done in football is so much greater than hockey, and that's why it's more violent. Now, you can say when someone's skating at top speed, and also with the edges on the skates, how they can cut and things like that. And you're right there, but just the damage that's done to the head and to the body in football. There's no other team sport. So I'm with Dan on this. I think it's football. But let's review all action and let me know if you want to add something because we got to get an NBA. We got to be quick. We got 4 minutes a game for NBA. Bobano's on the
quickly two ads.
Okay.
I'm going to make +7 -110 with Michigan State against Illinois. I'm going to go +7 -110 with PointsBet with Michigan State.
Okay,
and I've decided after much consternation over 132 -110 in the Nebraska Purdue game. I'm going to go with the over in that one.
What was the juice on the +7 on Michigan State?
-110. Yeah.
+7 and -110. And what was
the last ad is going to be over 132 -110. Bet99 has that over 132 -110 Nebraska Purdue.
Oh, in the Nebraska game. Okay, let's get over there.
I decided, you know what? I think Purdue is around the rim. They're going to score at will because Nebraska, I think, will struggle with Edey. The 2-point defense has been weak. And this is a very low total. They've adjusted to the fact Nebraska's played a little bit slower, better defensively, I think to the point where it's a little too low now, 132. So I like the over there. That's it.
Over 132.5 -110 Nebraska Purdue. Okay, so this is the review of action. Bobano's on the over 145.5 -105 in Yale Cornell. Over 145.5 -105. And I think I'm going to run with them on that one. Kent State, Ohio Bobcats, we stayed off. Bobano's on the over 132.5 in Nebraska Purdue. Bobano's on St. Peter's +10.5. I'm taking them first half. Siena Saints, Niagara, we stayed off. I'm moving on the under in Manhattan, Mount St. Mary's. Bobano's on the over 136.5 in Fairfield, Iona. I'm going to take the first half over. Bobano is on the over 127.5 in Marist, Canisius. I'm very close to moving on Marist. I'm going to be on the under in Villanova, Butler. Bobano's on Eastern Michigan +14 -110. I'm going to be on both Eastern Michigan first half and the over. Bobano's on Michigan State +7. The taint play today is Michigan State +6.5. Bobano's on VCU +7.5. The spreadsheet play today is VCU. He's also on the over 129.5. Bobano's on Nevada money line and the over 143.5. I will also be on Nevada, and I might double up. I'm thinking of doubling up. I am close to the double up. Excellent work, Bobano. You have a huge week ahead. Huge week ahead. Talk to us about your shows today, and I will discuss the Saturday.
Yeah, NBA Pub Hub with Ski Profit and Billy Briz later today, 4 p.m. Eastern, Friday NBA card, 5 p.m. Eastern with Connor Mack for college basketball net profit. And then tomorrow, college basketball Pub Hub, me, Connor Mack, Dabby Cab, 10 a.m. Huge Saturday slate as usual, and I'll be on the NFL Pub Hub tomorrow afternoon as well. So, yeah, busy weekend. Hugely busy weekend.
Follow our man Bobano on Twitter @Bobano and check out and support his shows. We move on and we got to be quick. We only have our man Durrell for 31 minutes and we have 8 games in NBA to attack. So without further ado, we went 7-0 combined. We each went 4-0, but we only had one game the same. And that was the Kings' first quarter. Everything else we had different, but we cashed them all. It was a big bounce back for our guy, Durrell, because the day he had the flu, he struggled here on the show, and he'd been running real nice. I know what his final record is going to be, and it's going to be very good, and he's sniffing the black right now. Please welcome to the show from Los Angeles, California, Darrell Rice in the house. Durrell, how are you, my man?
I'm only going to do that one time, man. I just got to get this off my fucking chest, right?
Sure.
First and foremost, if we need to go a little longer, we can.
Oh, nice.
Right?
You are in the dark, Durrell. Is there a light on in your house?
Okay, so I thought it was just my screen.
It looks like Darrell's in black and white. He looks like he's in a Western. He looks like in a wanted poster right now.
Okay, so I'll fix that. This is just going to go with my mood anyways.
Okay.
All right? Because I'm not the happiest right now at all.
Okay. All right.
Brandon State has got to be the fucking stupidest coach in the entire world.
It's just
right?
It's beyond comprehension.
I am a Chargers fan, a diehard Chargers fan. I've been a Chargers fan since I moved to California in the late 90s. And 2 things stick out, man. And I'm just gonna call it like it is. Why the fuck are you playing starters? And again, that means absolutely nothing. Why? And this is what he says. He had this issue before. And he believes that, the potential rust would be a factor, right? So you're trying to tell me that potential rust is more important than actual fucking injury? No. Well, this is what this says. It tells me that you are not a coach that can rally your team. They don't believe in you. Because if you have players that you're thinking that you need to play because they're rusty, that tells me, man, that you cannot rally your guys up to get hyped up for a game. They don't fucking believe in you. They don't believe in you. And now we play the Jags, where Trevor, last game, 38-10. What do you think? They're going to run the fucking ball. Now, there's different things that happen, of course. You had the injury with the ribs, right? You had players out, linemen out. But you don't think they're going to just duplicate that? I tell you right now, man, if the Chargers lose this fucking game, they better fire Staley so quickly. They better fire him. And if they don't, I'm really, really thinking about turning in my Chargers jerseys. That's all I got to say. This guy is the worst coach in the fucking league to me. He really is. He really is. And so with the Mike, when Mike got hurt, I said, okay, he's gone. I saw that. And now he's officially out. Can't stand it right now, man. Can't stand it right now being a Charger fan. But I digress.
No, you don't need to digress. It's worth talking about if you do have time here. It's just absolutely atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. The one thing, I don't care about what happened in week 3. I've got Chargers futures from the beginning of the year. I don't care. I do not care about what happened in week 3. I don't think it's on anybody's mind. But the defense has completely changed since the Chargers bye week. And, they've done a few things. First off, using the versatility of Derwin James, trusting Derwin James. Now he's just being absolutely spectacular, and it's allowed Van Noy to be on that second level blitzing, and they've been very good defensively. And they completely shut down the Niners in week 10 when the Niners were rolling, and shut down McCaffrey rushing. The problem is that the way to beat the Jaguars is to attack their secondary. They're so bad. They're very good defending running the ball. It doesn't matter. Chargers don't run. But they can be beaten through the air, and losing Mike Williams because of this bullshit is insane. It's absolutely insane.
So my brother's a diehard Raiders fan. He's been a Raiders fan, man, since I can remember, since the dude was crawling, right? And you better believe, man, you best believe when that injury happened, he told me, man, you guys are losing. Now, people in the comments are saying Williams is always hurt. Even in that game, he had one catch for 15 yards, right? But still, his presence matters, especially in the playoffs. So what really pisses me off is that you play a meaningless game with your starters, that you end up getting smoked on anyways. You really did let Russ cook in that fucking game. And now, man, we're in a position to where you're going to have to depend on people like Parnham and Palmer and Everett. You just don't have a big guy out there that can get these back shoulder throws. I'm so fucking mad right now at this coach. I've been mad at this coach all fucking year. And I'm telling you, it's one of these things. If we lose this fucking game, I promise you, if we don't fire this coach, I think I might not be a Charger fan. Dead ass. Because I had every right to leave, right? Because the unspoken rule is if your team leaves the city or change location, you have every right to change your fandom. Am I right? That's an unspoken rule, right?
For sure.
I'm telling you right now, man, I'm hot. I'm hot at the fucking decisions this dumbass coach makes. And all that tells me is that his team has not fully bought in to what he does. Furthermore, when Keenan Allen was out, he was tweeting, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" on some of these decision making. So they're not bought in. If you're telling me that you're afraid that your team would be rusty for a playoff game, that tells me you as a head coach sucks balls. Bottom line. So that's all I got to say, man. If we lose this game, I swear to fucking God, if we don't fire this coach, bro, it's curtains.
I agree with that whole breakdown. It's just astonishing. I can't wait to hear what my dad has to say about this. My dad doesn't pull punches. He's a Chargers season ticket holder, and they're his team, and he's gonna fucking lose it. Like he's just like I can just imagine him right now. Just so angry. I can't wait. That's the only thing that makes me feel better is hearing how angry you are and how angry my dad will be. If you guys weren't angry,
a Chargers fan?
Sorry,
your dad's a Chargers fan.
Oh, huge, yeah.
Oh, nice. Because
Yeah.
I don't see very many fans, right? So we've been dealing with this for a long time, but I swear to God,
this is just atrocious, absolutely atrocious. All right, and we got a Fap Win making moves here. Fap Win making moves. We have Golden State third quarter handicap. Third quarter on Golden State. Also, that game, very interesting one at the Alamo Dome, breaking the record, NBA regular season record. And Jose Bouquet has a Say Hey Play of the Day, and that's his first bet of the first Say Hey Play of the Day of the 2023. We're opening up a new account for young Jose Bouquet. So is this the what do you think? Is this the brightest we're going to get you here for the show?
Yeah, I'll get my brother, and it may change a little bit. I'll see.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay, but
it's kind of going along with my mood, though.
You look like you just robbed a bank. And
I'm telling you, man.
They're looking at you. They're looking for you in some town here in Texas, but you escaped in another town.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the Wild Wild West. Like, I just need to have a wanted right above my head here, and just put like
Daryl, don't tempt me.
$2 reward. $2
Daryl,
reward.
don't tempt me.
I'd do it if I were you. I'd do it.
I want to see
I'd do it.
Like an old Western.
Yeah.
Let's get to work, Daryl. You were very, very good. Very, very good on Wednesday. And it was my turning point in my season, I hope. I'm 7-1 in the last 2 days in NBA, and I've had a bad season thus far. And you were my turning point last year as well. If we remember, we started bringing you on every week, and I started making money. Let's keep this going right now. We got Daryl Rice in the house, and let's get to work. By the way, Daryl, you got off the season to a tough start, then you got to the black. The black was taken away from you in that 0-5 flu day.
Mm-hmm.
But right now you are 24 wins and 23 losses on the show, hitting at 51.1%. That includes the week I was not there with you. When you were down 0.64 units, you are right around the black, and I know that you will get there, and you've helped me very much. Yesterday, I gave out the Heat and the under on the show. During the show, Giannis was taken from the lineup. Then I almost moved on the under 213.5, and I was like, really? After I could have got 216.5, I'm going to take this 213.5, and I didn't. So it would have just been a push because it was 6 at the time. But OKC Philadelphia under 233 was a grave error. Raptors first half and full game double up. I was so confident in it, and they both cashed. The full game was a little less comfortable. And then Dallas, LA Lakers under 235.5 survived 2 overtime periods.
Yeah, so I went 0-2 yesterday, right? Missed on the Celtics first quarter. And then missed on the Lakers money line first quarter. And by the look of that game, I said, okay, let me go ahead and live bet Lakers money line. It was like plus 360.
Oh,
and it just came so close. But after that second overtime, I'm like, okay, it's over. Right. So I could have made out good. So altogether 0-3. Right. So it looks like the way I'm going is I'll win them all, lose them all, win them all. So since I lost them all yesterday, I probably should win them all today.
I woke the whole house up at 1:30, 1:45 in the morning screaming, they're not fouling, with 10 seconds left, 9 seconds left, screaming, they're not fouling. Because I'd already said, okay, I've lost this one. I deserve to win it, but I've lost it. When they didn't foul 119, 115 with 11 seconds left.
11 seconds.
Were you surprised to see them not foul with 11 seconds left in a 4-point game?
Yeah, man. Sometimes I think they get lost in the sauce. And I think that's what happened, because on the other hand, remember how they called Jason Kidd for having Lucas shoot those 2 free throws?
That was wild. Why did?
And they said maybe Kidd didn't know that anybody could shoot, because you had 2 better free throw shooters besides Luka, and he wound up missing both of them.
He must have not known, right?
He had to have not known.
Yeah.
So I kind of got a little excited then, because I'm like, okay, yeah, we're back in this. But second overtime, man. It's just like, okay, it's done. LeBron kind of let that slip out of his hands, and that last shot.
He did not look good in the overtime session.
He was just gassed. These guys were gassed, man. They were gassed. So that's when it fell apart.
Yes, it did. It did. But there are some positives, with Gabriel, with Kendrick Nunn. There are some positives coming out of the Lakers camp. Westbrook did look better, and Westbrook was sort of trying to bully Luka.
Yeah,
it was all. I found the game. If I didn't have the under, I would have really enjoyed the game. Luka's bombs, at the to keep the game going. It was fun basketball. Let's get to work. Let's get that cash. Thank you guys for joining us here. It is Friday. Betting with the bag.
Thank you.
We got our guy. It's Durrell in the house. We get started at 7 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 25-17, 8-12 on the road at the Detroit Pistons 12-33, 6-14 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. We'll start with the line history here. Oh, please tell me I didn't ditch this. Gotta get it up again. So, sorry, I'll have to pull up the cash in a second. My Safari's playing fucking tricks on me. But here we go with the line history. This opened up with Detroit at +4.5. Opened up last night at 6:18 p.m. They're now +5.5. So there's been a 1-point move over to the Pelicans. From a total standpoint, oh, here it's up again. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 233.5. It's now at 234. We get over to the cash flow in this one. We have 8,364 tickets in. 19% of the tickets are on Detroit and 36% of the cash. I would love that if the market was moving towards them, but it's not. It's moving to where the public is. 81% of tickets on Pelicans, but just 64% of the cash. 4% of tickets are on the under. 4% of tickets and 32% of the cash. So some big bets have come in on this under, and the market moved. I guess it didn't. I guess I take that back. It got up to 234.5 and it's come back to 234, but it's still juiced to the over. Okay, so let's get down to fucking business here. Pelicans coming off their third loss in 4 games, 125-114 at Boston on Wednesday. This is the 4th game of a 5-game road trip that ends Monday in Cleveland, trying to make it through without Zion and B.I., who are both out indefinitely. C.J. McCollum has stepped up. He went for 38 in the last 5 games. He's averaging 30.8 points a game. And Valanciunas got stopped. He put up 27 and 12 in 28 minutes against Washington, and then against Boston, 13 points, 4 boards in 23 minutes. Pistons snapped their 3-game losing streak with a big 135-118 win at home over Minnesota on Wednesday. Thank God I don't trust the Timberwolves. Now, I believe you still cashed on their first quarter, didn't you, on Wednesday in that game?
Yes, I did.
Wow, because watching them fall apart against the tired Pistons team, missing 6 players was wild. Now they did have Bogdanovich back, and he's a big deal. 27.6 points, 4 assists. Sadiq Bey went for 31. He's loving the floor opportunities he's getting without Jalen Duren, without Isaiah Stewart. Nerlens Noel is saying all the right things as a vet.
He is.
He seems like he has matured in his time in the league. Taking away here for us, Durrell, Pelicans, Pistons.
Yeah, last game they played. This was an 11-point spread. Do I look better now? I should look a little better.
Yeah, we're on our way. We're on our way.
I'll get it together, man. My brother's a tech guy. All I do is get behind her. He's a tech guy. Last game was 11, right? They win by 6. You got this game now because they just played on December 7th, so a little over a month ago. You got this game at -5, was at 4.5. If you saw DraftKings, if you saw some other books, this was at 6, right? So we've got a 5 going here where the number is going down. Right now, the best play that I see on this is going to be the Pelicans' first half. I've already stepped on it at -3. I took the -3 here. And the reason being is because it's a game that the Pelicans just have to get right with. And this is a game that they can do it with respectfully. They're right now, Pelicans have lost to Boston, probably want that game back. That was away. They beat Washington at home. They lost to Dallas, or they beat Washington away. And they lost to Dallas away. And they lost to Brooklyn at home and beat Houston. So the 2 teams they beat, Houston and at Washington, I'm thinking that Detroit is worse than both of them. Okay, maybe not Houston, right? So the problem is a lot of people won't jump on the Pelicans because the Pelicans do suck away. They're kind of like that Cleveland team, right? To where they have 17 losses, 12 of them are away. So they just can't seem to close the deal when they're away. We see that turnaround happen with the Cavs on yesterday against the Blazers, and I do believe you're going to see a good spot for New Orleans. Here's the reason why. That game was close because Detroit came alive in the third quarter last game. In that last game, Detroit scored 15 points in the second quarter. 15 points in the second quarter. You have a team right now that's actually doing really good as far as defense in New Orleans. And they've actually kind of trickled off a little bit in opponents' shooting percentage. But Detroit has also. So I think you're going to get another game where you see CJ scores a lot of points. Joey Val is going to be in the box, right? He's going to be in the paint, be able to get his buckets. And you just got these other glue guys who we always talk about. Herb Jones may come back here. You've got players right now who can play for New Orleans that I think can keep this game rather, interesting. So I do like New Orleans Pelicans in the first half. I think that's the best look. They're 6-4 in their last 10, and they are 10-10 away when it comes to first half ATS. Give me New Orleans first half -3. Already stepped on it.
I have interest in that. We can get you that at 2.5 and -111 at Pinnacle.
Okay, let me see.
I have some interest in that as
I got the -3. I got a -3, but 2.5, I'll take it.
I have some interest in that. The coin currency play of the day is Detroit over 234. There's our guy Isaiah Scurry in the house. And Jack Rosenblatt, second quarter -1.5. Mike says the Pistons have won the first quarter last 4 games against the Pels. So he's looking at the second quarter.
That was another angle I was looking at that I didn't mention, but also that's why I wasn't looking at the first quarter, but the first half. That last game, I believe they won 28-27. And then New Orleans just goes on this route in the second quarter. So, Jack, that is something that I did notice as well, because it could be close.
All right, let's move on. Next up for us, Atlanta Hawks at Indiana Pacers. Pacers open up at +3. They're now at +2 at home dogs. This total opened up at 234, shot all the way up to 238.5. Interesting. 6,184 tickets in. Sports Insights has given a few slivers, and then one team with about maybe I'd say 10%. That's the Hawks, and then one team later in the show with full line value. But this is the second highest, just at 10%. 6,184 tickets in. 36% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on the Pacers. So sharp action on the Pacers. Then you have 11% of the. We have no cash flow for 5 of these totals. Damn. So we have, but we did have it for. No. Okay. So 51% of the tickets on the over and no help from Sports Insights there. Atlanta playing at a fast pace. They're being bad on the road, 8-13 on the road, but they're over their past 5, 2-3, playing at the pace 103.78 possessions a game. Pacers 3-2, playing at the pace of 101.09 possessions a game. But we'll get a better idea of their pace when we get to watch them for a while without Tyrese Halliburton in the lineup. Elbow and left knee, underwent the MRI. So he's mild left elbow sprain, mild left knee bone contusion. They're going to examine him again in 2 weeks. Halliburton averaging 20.2 points, 10.2 assists. So he is going to be out. Pacers have won 6 of 8. Well, the Hawks have lost 6 of 8. Atlanta comes in off their second loss in 3 games, 114-105 at home versus the Bucks on Wednesday. That was without Trae Young. Young non-COVID related illness. He's expected back in the lineup here. They need him. 27.5 points, 9.8 assists. Bogdan Bogdanovic came off the bench for 22, still struggling without Clint Capella in the lineup. They have signed Derek Favors to a 10-day contract. It'll be fun to watch how slow he runs up and down the floor. But they want to get the pressure off of Okongwu. So that's the situation there. The Pacers had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped Wednesday, 119-113 loss at the Knicks. Buddy Hield went for 31. Miles Turner questionable with back spasms. And the NBA spreadsheet play today is on the Indiana Pacers. Wow, with Halliburton out of the lineup, spreadsheet, still trusting the Indiana Pacers, and so is the sharp action.
Sharp action, yeah.
What do you think here, Daryl? Take it away. Floor is yours. Hawks, Pacers.
Yeah, so both teams are on the bottom when it comes to first quarter ATS, right? And they're kind of neck and neck when it comes to first half. So I didn't really see a good angle there. So this is a game that if I did make a play on, I would attack the full game on this. I believe this is a Pacer spot, and the reason why I say that is because it just seems the parity in the NBA is just so funny right now. Teams that aren't supposed to win or that are handicapped in some way, shape, or form are still winning these games. Are still winning. We saw that with the Celtics. We've seen that with Miami only having 8 players play. We've just seen that happen so often here. I tried to jump on this early, and there was no number for it. I only saw Trae Young's prop. So I believe Trae is playing, and that was at least 3 threes for plus 106. Do you happen to have what Buddy Hield's threes are today?
Yeah, I will grab them for you here. Now, this will be from Bet365, but let's grab it right now. Player props for threes here. Let's go. Threes made. No, they're not giving any Indiana Pacers props.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not attacking this game from a side because I don't have a really good clear-cut angle on this, but I do want to see if they put Buddy Hield's threes up. If it's anywhere between 4 or even 5 for plus money, might put a little bit on that because the guy's giving you 11, 12 shots up per game, and that's with Holly. That's with Holly, right? So now that you got him out of there, it might be a good shot. So that's the only way I can look at this game. Even on Atlanta's side, I think Trae could give you 3. I really do. Indiana right now is ranked 23rd in the league in 3-point percentage. Opponents' 3-point percentage, right? So their opponents are putting up damn near 37% average, season average. So this may be a good shot to take Trae Young in his threes. They're only 3 and it's plus 106, but I'd be more confident in Buddy Hield since he shoots up more. And now that Holly's out, this could be a good spot for Buddy to get even more shots.
TJ McConnell up against Trae Young. I guess that's one of the few point guards that, he's not going to be out-lengthed and he can probably be fine up against. I mean, I know he's going to be held back from speed, but he plays with a lot of heart and character. Do you think this is one of the matchups where he won't get beaten too badly?
TJ McConnell?
Yeah.
I can't say. I really can't. And it's just to me, this is let me put on my tinfoil hat. I don't think everything is still all good in Atlanta. And it seems like even with all this stuff going on, Trae is kind of playing like a shell of himself, right? You can already know that he's a defensive liability, and people are really not afraid of him. So can TJ play Trae? I believe so. I do. I believe McConnell can stick with him. And especially if Trae's head's not all the way in the game where it seems like it really isn't right now. And I just believe it's still some beef with that head coach. I believe there's some personal issues going on. To me, I just feel like Trae isn't that Trae of old right now. He just isn't. He's not even damn near close to where he was a year or two ago, or when he took that bow at MSG because he just sent the Knicks home. Right. So if you're banking on TJ, if the question's right, to lock up Trae, is it possible? This year, lock up is kind of strong of a word because Trae's going to always get his shot. But this year just seems a little different for him. Trae is not himself.
Yeah, I mean, and I just mean not when he goes up against some guards with length, he's going to be in big trouble, McConnell. But not here. Do we need to know that Miles Turner is in the lineup before we move on to Pacers?
I don't think that matters either, right? He is going to help on the inside. So let me take that back then. I would. If Miles is playing, which it looks like he is because this is why you're having this line movement, I believe that it's a position to where you could jump on. I'm talking to myself on the Pacers right now.
So am I. But
but let's just wait for that lineup.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So I want to know that Miles Turner's back. He missed Wednesday with back spasms. I do not want to see James Johnson out there. Although I, like him as a character guy. But all right, let's move on here. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is on the Indiana Pacers. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Knicks at Washington Wizards. Knicks 23-19. Oh God, I can't focus.
My brother's helping me right now, man, but it's
Okay.
all good.
I
But
can't
at least take the
focus,
mustache off me. Come
the
on.
mustache, the wanted sign's good. Nice work, Jose. Excellent work. But I care mostly about cashing. I know that a little bit of humor is nice. The mustache was a nice.
Jose,
touch.
man, that's you're wrong. You're wrong for that.
All right, let's get to work here with this Knicks spot. You talked about the Knicks' ability to cash first halves. It was your I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play today on Wednesday.
That was the easiest cash. That was the easiest one, Jay.
Very easy. Very easy. And I went ahead and cashed the first quarter and first half under as well. That correlated with that. Now it was that first quarter went to 58 and I had the under 59. So it was not like but the first half was an easy casher to the under. All right, this opened up with the Knicks as 4-point road favorites. They moved to 4.5. From a total perspective, it opened up at 221.5. It's now at 222.5. And when we go to the cash, there's 7,908 tickets in. 90% of the tickets are on the Knicks. We do not have a cash flow. This is the only one where we don't have a cash flow here. But we do have the full information on the total. 43% of the tickets on the under and 75% of cash on that under. And it's gone up a point. That's confusing. Let's take a look at the X's and O's here. New York 12-8 on the road. They've been good all year. And Washington 11-8 at home. Pretty decent. Capital One, New York 4-1 over the past 5, playing at a slow pace, 96.10 possessions a game. And what happens during the year at different spots and the pace of play is sped up across the league right now. It's faster than it's been. This is the second time that it's happened this year where across the board, the teams are just playing at a little bit of a faster clip than they have been playing. Washington 2-3, playing at the pace of 101.10 possessions a game. Knicks coming off their 5th win in 6 games, 119-113 at home over Indiana on Wednesday. Brunson goes for 34. Takes care of the game in the final, closes the game for the Knicks. Wizards stopped their 3-game losing streak on Wednesday with a 197 win at home over the Bulls. Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis out. They were down 59-46 at the half, and then they took control over the Bulls team that was missing DeRozan. So Beal and Kristaps Porzingis out on Wednesday. I'll make sure that their status is set here for this one. Take it away, though, Durrell, Knicks, Wizards.
So there's 3 potential plays here, right? And I just had to choose the best play. BJ just hit the nail on the head. And it's something that I've always said. The Knicks' first half most definitely is the gift that just keeps on giving. He is absolutely right there. But what's funny is a turnaround. The Knicks right now are the best first quarter ATS spread or ATS team in the league right now. They're 16-5 at home, right? But they're 9-10-1 away overall. Last 10, 6-4. The Washington Wizards are still the best over-under first quarter team in the league. Right now, they are 15-4 at home. So you got a potential play there. With all that said, their last 10 being 5-5. Then you have the Knicks, the best first half team in the league, where they are 14-6 away and 8-2 in the last 10. So you got the Knicks first quarter, you got the Wizards and Knicks over the team total, and then you got the Knicks first half. Out of those 3 plays, the one that seems the best right now, because of their overall record and their most recent body of work, is the Knicks first half. They're 8-2, and they're playing the Wizards. If you look at what they're scoring right now, just to put it into a little bit of perspective, if I'm looking at their scoring in the first half, and I got it up here, New York Knicks, 59.2. Washington, 56.7. And they've had a huge decrease in the last 3 at 48 points. New York has just still varied there at 56. So you're talking about a 6-point difference even in their last 3 in the most recent body of work. Give me, and I shouldn't even give an analysis here, right? But I didn't want to be a little too repetitive because I've already given this as I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. But giving the New York Knicks -2.5 first half already official for me.
Do you want them 2.5 -105, or you want -2 at -115?
No, give me the 2.5. I've already stepped on that.
Knicks first half -2.5 -105. Do you think that? So we know Beal's out, but do you think that Porzingis, Morris, Gafford, any of these guys are going to be in tonight?
I don't know. If I'm looking at that injury report, and it's a lot of them. Vernon Carey, Johnny Davis, Gafford, Monty, Kristaps, they're all questionable. I don't think it fucking matters.
Last 10 road games from our Dan Kelly. Knicks are better first half than first quarter. Look at these numbers. First half against the spread, last 10 road games, 9-1. First quarter, 7-3.
That's why I said you got 3 good bets there, because these 2 teams are the top in their respective categories. But out of the 3, I still believe the best bet is the Knicks first half.
It was very close to the I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
It was, but I used this on last game, and I just didn't want to go back to the well with that one.
Well, it's it's all about getting that fucking cash, man, and that's what I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play today.
Okay, you ready for this? Are you ready for this analysis? Just tell me you're ready. Here, this analysis is going to take some water.
Okay, yeah, get it in. Hydrate.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Give me Knicks first half minus I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
North Ender, I have them all with asterisks on my worksheet, but I haven't set up my spreadsheet. I haven't put a separate spreadsheet on for it, but I could do that. But I do know that it's been cashing of huge in the last.
I think I've only lost 2 from that. But after that, I believe I'm pretty solid on those.
Which means that we have I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is correlating with one Dan Kelly's database.
Nice.
And North Ender, that will be easy for me to do. I'll have that ready for next Wednesday when Daryl's back. Knicks first quarter -2.5. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play of the day. It does seem like they are rolling. It does seem like they come out sharp. Good coaching. This makes sense. I'm gonna put a couple of asterisks beside it. Let's move on to the next game here for us, and it's a big one. It's a big one for a couple of different reasons. First off, Golden State Warriors and San Antonio Spurs is at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. They're going to break the NBA regular season attendance record. So that was the attendance record was Bulls Hawks in 1998 in the Georgia Dome. There's been an All-Star game, that's gone over, but this is the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. So we've already had FAP win. Give us third quarter Warriors -2.5, going back to that third quarter well. Golden State Warriors 2 of 3 over the past 5, playing at the pace of 102.24 possessions a game. The Spurs 1 of 4, playing at the pace of 104.40 possessions a game, playing fast. I'm going to set a table here, but we also have the first Jose Bouquet Say Hey play of the day.
I know what he's playing. I already know. I fucking know.
It's opened up with the Warriors at -8. They're now -8.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 240. It's now at 243.5. It got up to 244, and it dropped a half point. Let's take a look Oh god, this cache is gone again. So annoying. It's going to come up here in a second. While it is coming up, let's bring on the producer of this show. Joe Yurkovich says, I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play on the over. Stu Chaos screaming over.
Wow.
Here.
Wow. Even
That's
with all that steam, huh?
That is a high over that you guys are showing no fear with. This 11,305 tickets in, 61% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the Warriors, 62% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the under, which is so fucked up. Watching it go all the way up to 244. Spenny Penny Bomb says Jakob Podl might be worth a look for points and rebounds, but he's leaning to Keldon Johnson props. Keldon Johnson returned after missing 3 games with a hamstring injury, led the Spurs with 24 points in that loss on Wednesday, 135-129. Trey Jones went for 22. Podl went for 17 and 12. McBuckets went for 15. Collins 14 and 12. Jay Rich went for 12. The Warriors coming off their third straight loss, 125-113 at home versus the Suns on Tuesday night. Curry missed 11 games with a separated shoulder. Comes back. He goes for 24. Clay goes for 29. Poole goes for 27. And they can't be the Phoenix team that was missing 6 of their rotation players.
Everybody.
Crazy.
At home.
Carl Angel in the house, my man. What up? Dan Kelly says, both teams not used to the lighting in the Alamo Dome. You better be careful with those overs. Rob Free says, damn, that over's high. Let's bring on the producer of this show and see his first Say Hey play of the day for 2023. Please welcome Jose One Hole, Two Fingers, Bouquet.
Fuck the Warriors. Fucking Jordan Poole's bitch ass. Everyone finally coming around. That guy's a fucking loser. Guy sucks at basketball. Same thing with Trae Young. How are you guys doing? Daryl, your lighting's better.
Yeah, my brother fixed it.
Shout out to your brother. I like him more than I like you, Daryl. I'll admit it.
Hey, I'm still waiting for my Flying Chonkless shirt, ass.
You know what? That's a good question. I was thinking about that the other day. I thought I ordered that thing for you. Maybe I need to fucking go to the fucking. I thought I ordered that.
Oh no! Did you not hit the button, Jose?
I don't know. I'll fucking figure that out here in a second. Luckily, I actually have some money now.
I'll take that over the 3 steaks you owe me.
Jose has a rich history of not pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Also has a rich history of not combing his hair, it looks like.
Yes,
fuck
but
that
doesn't cost him $600.
Yeah. Fuck both of you. I'm getting my hair cut today.
No, you're not. No, you're
Jose, say hey play today for 2023. The first one here. Let's hear it. By the way, you are looking worse for wears. You are aging. You are aging fast, man. You are aging faster than anybody I know.
It's the smokes. No, I haven't smoked in a while.
Oh god.
No. So here's the deal. This is the classic Beanpot situation. We're getting all of us in there.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling standing room tickets for this joint now. Let's get all my cousins, aunts, uncles. We're getting all those fucking homies in there. And guess what? I honestly kind of wouldn't be surprised if it was like 50-50 situation with the Spurs fans and the Warriors fans, because every little kid's a Warriors fan nowadays. But guess what? The Spurs are going to be lifted up by the power of our cousins, the Alamo, Southtown 101. All of us are going to come together, and the Spurs are going to cover the first half. So I'm taking the Spurs first half plus 4.5. I will also be taking their money line as well. Also, triple up spot because I'm going to the game, of course, as well. I did say it was a Beanpot situation, so we're getting us all in there. I'm going too. Helga will be there. So I say this to say that. Why is everyone betting the over? I don't understand this. This feels like a classic go to the big stadium, different background, different lighting situation. So, me, I'm on the under. Maybe I'm the big dumb dummy here, and I don't like betting the National Betting Association and these fucking refs. But I truly think that the Spurs can hold out, play strong a first half. Wardell still coming back, trying to figure his shit out. Jordan Poole is the worst player on the floor, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think the Spurs can hang tough for the first half. Fap win, and the Warriors come out hard for the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter is all about tank for Wembanyama, baby.
So you have the Spurs first half. We can give you a 5 at minus 111.
Great.
Then you wanted the full game under, but you also wanted the first half money line. Is that correct?
Yeah, first half money line. Our friends at Bet Online is plus 200. So whatever line I can get there, and the full game under. Like I said, it's crazy going up, 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 and up and up. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just look at the surrounding situation. I've seen the court too. It's pretty wild. I think back in the day, because obviously the Spurs used to play in the Alamo Dome, they would put it like at like half the stadium. I think that they have opened up the full stadium and they just set it straight in the middle. So I anticipate this being a pretty loud game for the Spurs, and for at least the first half, I think those young legs will be transported to a new level, because guess what? No one goes to Spurs games. I went to the Spurs Celtics game the other day, and it was 70% Celtics fans. It was fantastic. But I think this special occasion will bring out the Spurs fans, all the old heads, and all the people that were like, "Oh, I was there when David Robinson was there," and stuff like that.
That's a pretty nice accent, actually. Spurs first half plus 5 at minus 111. Spurs first half money line at plus 205, and the under 244 now available at BetChris at minus 112.
It's a lot of math.
You will be opening up your 2023 account here.
Yeah, betting on the fucking Spurs, a team that I want to lose every fucking game they to play. So,
well, why don't we see what our expert has to think about your action here? Durrell, take it away. Warriors, Spurs.
So I agree with him on the spread, right? Because why are we trusting the Warriors when they leave Chase Arena? Why do we even trust them? You shouldn't. You should not be trusting these guys when they are away at all. There's just something different about this game, though. I missed the steam, but something that I did notice in looking at some stats, and this was on covers, and finally updated that. The first quarter to the over-under, Warriors are top right now, right under the Wizards, and they're 9-1 in their last 10. And do you know who's sitting right under them to the over? The fucking Spurs. They're 8-2 to the first quarter over.
Zero defense played by this young squad. I can confirm that.
So, but when I looked at the number and I missed that 4-point move, that first quarter number is sitting at 62.5. 62.5, and that's just not something I can get with, right? If I would able to get a 60 or a 59, I would have jumped on that. But I just missed the steam here with that total moving up 4 points. And that may come down a little bit. This arena is going to be loud. And because of the environment and what type of game this is, I believe the refs are going to swallow their whistles. You're not going to see a lot of foul calls here. It's just going to be a very fast game. I do believe that. I believe that just because of the type of game it is. So the only thing I can't agree with is the under, because I do believe these refs are just going to let these guys shoot. It's going to be like an all-star game, right? And it's just because of the environment, playing in a dome. I had seen a tweet from Coach Rich about it's different shooting in a dome than it is in an actual arena. You got lighting, you got noise, you got all types of different issues that happens. So with me, I don't have a play on this game at all because I missed the steam, but I would have taken that first quarter over easily. I would have taken it. But put 9.5 points away with the Dubs right now? Nah, man. I'm straight. If I had to make a play on this, I would still play Spurs +9, +8.5.
I like it. Very fun night ahead of you, Jose. I hope you.
I'm still fucking rattled from the button thing, man. Fuck you guys. I'm so fucking pissed.
This guy.
I wake up, I gotta do fucking jury duty and shit. Daryl fucking yell at me and all this shit. They by the way, during jury duty, they kept reminding us, like, yeah, this is your case is so small, it's so insignificant, it's fucking nothing. I'm like, thanks, fuck you guys. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a great time. And I bought some shout out to our guy Sun Dizzle. I bought some Sun Dizzle shorts.
Nice.
Fun. Yeah.
They must have been excited to have a Harvard graduate amongst them, though, right?
Yeah. Shout out to the teacher the flight attendant that I told I went to Harvard. on my way back to Boston. Yeah, she believed it.
That's
I
funny.
guarantee you, she's a white lady. She didn't believe any minority like me would get into Harvard. She didn't believe it.
Harvard.
There it is, right there. Our Harvard graduate producer, Jose Bouquet, old fat fingers Bouquet.
Hey, you know what's funny though? Did you hear Chris Vernon talking about how actually this is the worst game to watch as a fan in person? Is in the fucking Alamo? Because these guys just look like little ants.
Oh yeah, I got nosebleed seats. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be watching this fucking game. I'm gonna be doing those other things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching fucking Wardell Curry just roll around there, being a better player than Kobe Bryant. Just a reminder of everyone. 10th, Kobe 11th. Just a reminder to everyone.
Wow.
All right. He does call the sport shooty hoops.
Yeah,
though,
he
as
does.
well. So
He does.
let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Oklahoma City Thunder 19-23, 6-14 on the road at the Chicago Bulls, 19-23, 11-9 at home at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. OKC 3-2, playing at the pace of 101.2 possessions. You know, it's nice to have Jose back in action. He's not been making appearances on the show enough. Nice to have him back out there. Chicago 3-2, playing at the pace at 98.7 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for OKC Chicago. We have OKC opening up as 4.5-point dogs, and there's been no movement. From a line history standpoint, opened up at 235. It's dropped to 234. And let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 6,488 tickets in. 63% of the tickets, 57% of the cash on OKC. So there are bigger bets coming in on the Bulls. Less public spot. Oklahoma City Thunder, a public dog. You have 39% of the tickets on the over, but 83% of the cash. So public on the under, which is rare, but it has dropped a point. So that is a little confusing. Oklahoma on the second half of a back-to-back after their third win in 4 games, an impressive 133-114 win at Philly last night. They won 4 of their last 6. Over that stretch, they're averaging 126 points per game. And they've beaten some good teams. Beaten the Celtics, beaten the Mavs. Bulls coming off their second straight loss, 197 at the Wizards on Wednesday. DeRozan missed the first game of the season, his first game of the season on Wednesday, doubtful with a white quad strain. Levine hasn't missed a game since early November as a right hand contusion, but he's listed as probable. Take it away here for us. Let's hear a little bit from the chat, though. Dan Kelly saying OKC seems to be doing something special after that outing at Philly last night. Tonight, their 4th game in 6 days. The floor is yours. Take it away for us, OKC.
Yeah. They put up 150 against Boston. They beat the Mavs. I believe there was no Luka there, right? They obliterate Philly in Philly, right? And they put up a tough fight against Miami, who pretty much didn't have anybody there. We're talking about SGA makes that shot. Then it's a different story. Bulls right now aren't really looking the best. And if you look at their record overall, they're 11-9 at home. 11-9 at home. And even though OKC is 6-14 away, they're 12-8 to the spread away. 12-8. So when you have a really big win like you had against Philly and you play Chicago, I think you start feeling yourself a little bit. You got a little stride going. You can take a lot away from that Miami game. At the same token, man, if you don't have Jimmy Butler shoot almost 30 free throws and make them, it could be a different game, right? So that was kind of a life lesson. And then you see what they did to Philly. I like OKC full game. I like Chicago first half. I really do. What Chicago has done in their most recent body of work tells me that they can come and play at home and win early, but how this game goes down the stretch, I don't know. So I got to lean on Chicago. Nothing official for me here, but I got to lean on Chicago first half, and then we'll see OKC kind of come together and keep this game close. The only reason why I haven't stepped on it is because if you look at their most recent body of work, OKC is putting up almost 10 more points in the first half than Chicago. They're putting up like 64 points in the first half to Chicago's 54 points. So right now, go ahead.
What do you think of Rob Freese note here. It's pretty salient. It's he says he knows that OKC beats the teams that are at the top of the standings. He says it shows teams playing great basketball don't respect OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Says the Bulls aren't playing great.
Right, and that's another reason why I lean the first half, because if they can get off to a good early start, then it's different. That was something that was mentioned, that OKC plays these teams really well that kind of overlooks them. Right? It's almost like, okay, we got to show you that we're still a good team. And so when you look at the good teams that do that, this is what happens. OKC comes out and blows you out the water. So it does seem like a bull spot. That's why I like them early. But just in their most recent body of work, it seems like OKC can also play this game, get a win out of here at the last minute. It just, I mean, they like I said, they should have beaten Miami, minus the fouls and minus SGA makes that game-ending shot, the buzzer beater, if you will. So I'm just kind of conflicted on both sides. There's arguments to be made on both sides, but Rob Free is right. It seems like OKC gets up for better squads, and Chicago isn't there, especially if you don't have DeMar DeRozan playing. But, the look for me still would be an early look on Chicago because they are still better than OKC. But how OKC has been playing as of late, I just can't get there.
Jack Rosenblatt on Vooch, over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Dan Kelly on third quarter OKC money line. And you like the Bulls first half, which means it sounds like a very nice live betting spot for Oklahoma City then. That's a crazy deal for Soto. I'm shocked to read it. Just $23 million for 1 year. It gives San Diego. It's a nice opportunity for San Diego.
Well, that's because we just got the guy from the Braves.
The number for me at $23 million is spectacular. Who wouldn't want Soto on a 1 year, $23 million contract?
Padres going all in, man. They're going all in. I mean, I don't follow baseball very, very closely, right? There's guys that I just really follow who know the game, but Padres, I mean, their Super Bowl was beating the Dodgers last year. It really was this past season, rather. So just a few months ago. They're going all in, man. So we'll see what they do this year. I'm excited, though. I'm excited.
Wow. That's a surprise. Okay, but let's stay here. Moving forward, we have no official bet here.
Yeah, nothing here. I probably won't get here with the play. Like I said, it's a live bet.
Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 21-22, 7-15 on the road. At the Timberwolves 20-22, 12-9 at home. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year that these two teams would be under 500? Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Phoenix 1-4 over their past 5, playing at the pace of 98 possessions a game. Minnesota 4-1, playing at the pace of 99 possessions a game. Both teams playing slowly here. Let's take a look at the line history. We have the Suns opening up at +4. They're now +4.5. It did get up to 5. The total opened up at 224.5. It's down to 222. I still think that's high for these teams playing without pace. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. 4,055 tickets in. 87% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on Minnesota. I find that surprising. 38% of the tickets and 98% of cash on the under. I mean, that's a lot of money on the under on 38% of the tickets, but I agree with that. I think a big bet's come in on the under, and just from pace alone over the past 5 games, that makes sense to me. After beating the Warriors in San Francisco on Tuesday, the Underman Suns couldn't follow it up the following night. 126-97 loss at Denver. We were on the team total under 107.5. It was very easy. Probably should have been on Denver too, but we'll just take that team total under. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. They looked awful. No Ayton, no Shamet, no Chris Paul, no Payne, no Booker, no Johnson. Torrey Craig went for 16. Okogie went for 14. Timberwolves had their 4-game winning streak snapped in a disappointing 135-118 loss at Detroit on Wednesday. Detroit was on the second half of a back-to-back. Chris Finch was complaining, and he should. It's just been an atrocity what's happened there. He said that there was 0 defensive impact all night. It was horrific. The Pistons shot 60 from the floor, 53 from 3. And Edwards left with hip soreness. He did return in the 4th, but he's in some pain. Take it away for us here, Durrell. Suns, Wolves.
Yeah, I made it official. T-Wolves First quarter -1.5. I've already stepped on that. That should just be a no-brainer when you're looking at the first quarter scoring here. First quarter, Minnesota is fourth in the league. Still in that 30-point mark, right? Last one gave you 31, or 34 rather, and their last three about 31 points. Do you know who's second to last? It's not Charlotte anymore. It's the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are second to last. Right under them is the Pacers for first quarter scoring. I don't think Ayton plays today still. I don't think so. I think he's just going to be there with his Cuban links with another bad-looking sweater sitting on a sideline. Okay, so he even if he is, maybe you'll see the number move. But I didn't see that yet as of the injury report, not unless something's changed. So I took Minnesota first quarter -1.5 because they are still one of the highest scoring teams in the first quarter, and the Suns are the lowest scoring team right behind the Pacers. So even if Ayton's playing, I don't care. Suns do not look good right now. And you got a lot of other players that are out. So until you get Chris Paul, until you get Booker back, man, you got some problems over there. So I like Minnesota. Right now, Minnesota, 8-2 last 10 first quarter ATS. Suns are 3-7 last 10 first quarter ATS. 3-7. I'll take Minnesota first quarter all day.
Wolves first quarter -1.5, -110. Yeah, and 8 and probable. Spenny and Rob Free saying that he is going to be in. Interesting. It's a tricky spot when both teams get embarrassed. You know, it just adds another layer of. It just takes away an angle for me, and it makes it a little more difficult. I mean, if you were going to look at just heart alone, well, then you'd have to take the Suns. But I understand the way you are looking at it with the first quarter with the Wolves because
they're at home, man. They're just solid when it comes to first quarter spreads, right? You might not get Kyle, you might not get Anthony. I really don't think you get Taurean Prince in. That ankle was bad. So, you got two that may come back, and then one I really don't think is going to come back in Taurean Prince. But everybody else should be fine.
All right, first quarter for Durrell. First quarter -1 and -110. Things aren't illuminating for me here as much as I thought they would. Let's move on to this one. 9 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 16-26, 6-14 on the road at the Utah Jazz. 21-23, 13-7 at home. We're at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Orlando 3-2 over their past 5, playing at a pace of 99.9 possessions a game. Utah 2-3, playing at a pace of 101.9 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Utah opening up at 6 at -105. They're now -6 at -110. It dropped to 5.5 for a second. Total wise opened up at 231.5 and is now at 233.5. We have 6,590 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Jazz. And look, it'd be my first idea as well, the Jazz. But if there's all that money on the Jazz, why in the world is the market not moving? 61% of the tickets are on the under, and this total's gone up. So the market not helping here. Orlando, but if you're just looking at pace alone, 99.9 possessions a game and 101.9, you wouldn't think would equate to a 233. Orlando comes in off its second win in 3 games, 109-106 at Portland on Tuesday night. Wagner goes for 15 of his 29 in the fourth. Wendell Carter Jr. 20 and 10, or Franz Wagner, I should say as well. So they're 2-1 on this 5-game Western road trip. This is a good basketball team. Now, they're only 6-14 on the road this year, and Jalen Suggs is questionable, but this is a team on the rise. Maybe not a good team, but let's say a team on the rise. They've handled the adversity with all the injuries quite well. The Jazz snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 116-114 win at home over Cleveland on Tuesday night. Clarkson, man, 32 points and 9 in the final minute and a half. Lauri Markkanen also 25 points and 16 boards. I know Dan Kelly laments the decision-making to not have Markkanen on their squad. He's the real deal. Kelly Olynyk will miss his second straight game, and Colin Sexton's missed 5 straight with a hamstring injury. He is questionable. Rob Free says, "Give me Utah at the house. Zebras give them dudes all the whistles up there. Take it away for us here, Magic Jazz."
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to take it away. I'll get this right back to you. This is one game where I wrote in my notes, I don't care about Orlando and Jazz. That's what my notes say. It's just not a game that I'm really interested in playing at all. At all. It just I don't know when to take Orlando or when not to. And there's some numbers here in the chat to back it up, but I just don't feel good betting either side here at all. I mean, we know what the Jazz do. Jazz play 5 out. They space the floor. Right? Everybody and their mom on that team can literally shoot the 3 just about. So it makes sense to go with the Jazz, but the number is large. But are we just still that confident that Orlando won't give it up? They're 16-26 on the season, bro. They're 6-14 away, and the Jazz are 13-7 at home. This line just seems real sharp to me. So it's not any action that I want to be a part of. I just don't care about these two teams playing each other.
Joe Yurkovich says the Jazz have won by 7 or more in 6 of their last 32. Magic have lost by 7 or more.
That's a good stat.
In 5 of their last 17. So he's on Magic plus.
Yeah, the funny thing is I haven't placed too much money on OKC, and I haven't placed any money on Orlando Magic because you just don't know what you're going to get. A lot of size over there in Orlando, though, right? But yeah, size is not going to matter against the Jazz when you can just space the floor out. 5 out is what they do.
Yeah, no, I can understand the discomfort here. Let's move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. 2 games left on the card. Denver Nuggets 28-13, 10-10 on the road. LA Clippers 22-21, 12-9 at home. We're Crypto.com in Los Angeles, California. First off, Dan Kelly says, I got the Clips last night minus 130 on the money line, but I saw the number open at Denver minus 1.5. I never saw that, so I understand anyone that pounded it. Denver's been playing good of late, but not on the road. 500 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I hinted at this earlier, and here it is for all to see. The Los Angeles Clippers have been given full line value from Sports Insights, full, which is interesting. I haven't seen a ton of that here, and there's no other teams over 10% line value today. Clippers are full. 59% of the tickets are on the Clippers and 97% of the cash. 25% of tickets are on the under and 59% of the cash. So clearly the Clippers and the under is a sharp action. Denver 4-1 over the past 5, but they're playing at the pace 98.2 possessions game. Clippers playing slower, 1-4, 97.70 possessions a game. We have quick line history look in this one. We have these Clippers opening up at Pinnacle at +1. They're now minus 2.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 225.5. It's now at 224. Denver comes in off its 4th straight win, 126-97 at home versus the Suns on Wednesday night. The Joker went for 21, 18, and 9. Bones Highland went for 21, 5 of 7 from 3. Jamal Murray limped off the court, left ankle issue, but he's listed as probable. So fine. Jokic is listed as questionable, but he's been that's been happening a lot. He's been playing through it. So Clippers snapped their 6-game losing streak with a 113-101 win at home over Dallas on Tuesday night. Kawhi, 29 points during a 112-108 loss on Sunday, and then he followed it up with a season-high 33 in the win on Tuesday. He's played 34 or more minutes in 6 of his last 7 appearances. He was on the floor for 38 against the Hawks. He's starting to play. Norman Powell went for 27 against the Mavs. Paul George didn't play against Dallas, and he's expected to miss his 4th straight. And Luke Kennard expected to miss his 3rd in a row. Floor is yours, Durrell. Nuggets, Clippers.
They already played January 5th, and they beat them 122-91, right? There's no way this line moves the way it has unless Joker is sitting. There's no way. There's absolutely no way where you have a team that is on a winning spree and is playing good as Denver is playing. Phoenix, Lakers, okay, Cleveland, and the Clippers, they lost to Minnesota, and they beat Boston. No way this team is playing as good as they are right now is going to be a dog to the Clippers that they already beat to where the Clippers couldn't even get to the century mark unless Joker is sitting. He's got to be sitting. He's got to be. Not unless there's some injury report manipulation here. So I would only look the Clippers here. only look the Clippers, because this is why, and it's going to show you why Joker was a 2-time MVP of the league back-to-back, because when he is not on the court, this is just a very different team. These guys don't even make the playoffs if he's not on the court. Now, what remains to be said also is how much of an improvement Aaron Gordon has been this year. So if you're going to look at props here, look at Aaron Gordon and what he would do. But this is indeed, in my honest opinion, this line is telling me that Joker's sitting, bro. This line is telling me this. Bottom line. So you would have to take the Clippers here. You have Paul George who's out, but you're gonna have Wall and Kawhi Leonard who's playing. So in my opinion here, you smack the Clippers. But I just don't know if we're getting a little bit of shenanigans. Joker, he is an Iron Man, so he's the type of guy where you're gonna have to force him to sit down. But this type of move is telling me that Joker might not play, that he's absolutely probably not playing. And then if you see even more movement, then Murray's not playing as well. So I would look at Aaron Gordon props. I would look at Bones Highland threes also, because he actually absolutely lit up the building. He absolutely lit up the building against the Suns.
We had the similar situation with the Heat game yesterday, and before the end of the show, Giannis was announced out, and I didn't bet it during the show. And
yeah, they're preparing because it's going to move again once he is out. So if you like the Clippers, take them now. If you took them early, then you were in a good spot. But yeah, ain't no way, man. You move 3 points like this early. This happened early too, to where it doesn't tell me Joker is sitting. Joker is sitting.
The money line's gone from -105 to -136.
Yeah, Joker is sitting. He's not playing today.
Wow.
And the only reason why I'm not confident enough to say that is because we know that there could be shenanigans with the injury report, and that's the evil business of the NBA and betting right now. So if you like the Clippers, take them now. I just personally don't think Joker's playing.
Yeah, North Ender, I know they pushed the 6, but it was 4.5 when we were talking about it, and it was clear what was going on. And the total was at 217 or 217.5 or 217 at the time. The under still hit at 213. I came so close to betting at 213.5 too. Interesting. And Clips just moved to -3.5 at Bet 365.
Wow. Yeah, you better believe Joker's not playing. And this is the funny thing. As good as Denver has been, watch them come out and win. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stupid shit that happens in the NBA.
And the under also appealing as well. DeAndre Jordan out there. Okay, I find both appealing here, and I kind of lean towards the under. Sorry, our guy Jack asked the money breakdown. 59% of the tickets on the Clippers, 97% of the cash. 27% of tickets, 59% of cash on the under. All right, let's talk about the final game on the board. Final game of the week for us here.
He's out. BJ just said, got the notification. He's out.
Wow. Fuck, man. We got to start doing basketball earlier in the day.
For real, man. For real.
Wow. All right. Houston Rockets 10-31, 4-17 on the road. Sacramento Kings 22-18, 13-9 at home at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Houston 8 straight losses. Obviously 0-5 over the past 5, playing the pace of 100 possessions a game. Sacramento 3-2, playing at the pace of 102.4 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash here. Line history-wise, last game on the board here was Sacramento opening up -10. They're now -9.5. From a totals perspective, open up at 236.5, now 238. 6,843 tickets in. 51% of the tickets, 67% of the cash is on the Kings. On the Kings, and the line has moved a half point in the Rockets' direction. Then 68% of tickets are on the over. We don't have a cash flow, but it's gone up 1.5 points. It's gone up 1.5 points. And, pace-wise, I feel like this is too high. But the teams just met here on Wednesday, and the Rockets lost 8 straight, 135-115. Sabonis 25, 14, and 9. Trey Lyles also a big game, especially in the end there. It was a 1-point game. It and it ended up a 20-point loss. It was a 1-point game with 8:44 to go. So Kevin Porter Jr., he left with a bruised left foot in Wednesday's game. So he remains questionable here. That's the big note. Take it away here, Durrell. Rockets Kings, last game on the board.
Yeah, so I already stepped on that. I think a really good play is the Kings first half. Kings first half -3 is where I like them. They're really good at home covering first half spreads. At home right now.
But it's 6. You're talking first quarter is 3.
Okay, I'm sorry. First quarter
3.5.
3. I've got 3. First half also. So first half is a 6.
Yeah.
Kings right now, man. At home, now even though their last 10, they're 5-4-1. At home, they are 14-7 against the spread in the first half. 14-7. The Rockets, even though they have a really, really good or decent first half number, they're 20-18. They're 12-7 at home and 8-11-2 away. So they're not as good as covering those spreads, obviously, when they are away. And the Kings do a really good job covering home first half spreads. So I do like this position where the Kings are in, to where that first quarter score last game was 31-27. And then they put up 36 points in the second quarter. And I just think you see a similar, type of numbers today, especially with KPJ being out. So give me Sacramento Kings -6 in the first half. I think that's a solid play.
All right. And you can get the 3 in the first quarter as well if you want it. There are 3s available, -115. At the half now, we've moved to 5.5s.
Yeah, let's see.
5.5.
Yeah, my book still has a 6. I'm going to jump on the 6 here, but you can give me the 5.5.
All right. First half Kings -5.5, -110. Wow. This card became a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to. Let's review all NBA action. Durrell's on the Pelicans first half -2.5 and -111. I was quite interested in that spot. We need to know about Miles Turner. If Miles Turner is in, I'm going to back the Pacers. And I'd like to do a little test with the Pacers here with TJ McConnell. I've always been a McConnell fan. I think we should keep an eye on when he goes up against guards that don't have length. Because his motor doesn't stop. I mean, I know that, Trae Young's faster than him, but McConnell's motor doesn't stop. And I imagine that against smaller guards, he'll be able to hold his own. And the Pacers will have value, I imagine. And I'm going to keep a close eye on that matchup. And I need Miles Turner in. Then Durrell's on the Knicks first half -2.5, -105. That's it. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play today. I could easily, comfortably roll with that. Jose Bouquet dropped his first official say hey plays of 2023. Spurs first half +5 -111. First half money line +205 and the under 244 at -112. Oklahoma City Chicago Bulls we stayed off. Durrell's on the Timberwolves first quarter -1.5 -110. Magic Jazz we stayed off. And now Clippers and under are a flux with the news that Jokic is out. But it goes to show once again that watching this show, and maybe we need to do NBA a little earlier with these because there was money to be made yesterday, and I, kind of left it on the table with not moving during the show when we knew something was up with the 4.5 for the Bucks being 4.5 point dogs, and then of course they ended up being 6.5 point dogs, and we knew the Heat were getting players back, and that worked again. Durrell snuffed out the situation and should have moved on it while we were talking about it. And then Durrell's on the Kings first half -5.5 at -110. That is our NBA. Great having Durrell here on a Friday. Daryl, just a heads up for next week. Dutch is going to be away again, so if you're able to lock in ahead of time Wednesday and Friday, we'd be very thankful to have you rocking with us.
All right, I got you.
I love it. That's wonderful. Our go-to NBA capper. Remember his spectacular performance last year. And last year, it started. Now we had a higher amount of action at this point in the season, but this was a similar numbers that he started with last year, and then he went on fire and almost hit that 60%. So we believe in you, Daryl. Thank you so much for making the time for us. And I know that you were in a time crunch and you made the extra 30 minutes. That means a ton to us. We love you very, very much. Have a wonderful weekend, my friend, and get that cash. And follow Daryl on Twitter at It's Daryl, Selfless Capper. Only thinking about us and not asking for anything in return. Please support him and cappers of that ilk. My man, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
As I always say, Jimmy, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to come on the show and talk ball. So let's win today, man. I hope we have some good winning ways on today. Carry on into the weekend, and let's restart it next week.
Absolutely. There he is, Daryl in the house. And Joe Jurjevich and Leo talking about the Magic line not moving. I'm going to take another look on that. I think you guys really might be on one there. Again, 7-1 run in NBA over the last 2 days, and I need it. I need to get to the black. And I know working with the guests we have and the cappers in the chat that I'll be where I am every year in NBA, double-digit units in the black. I'm not there right now. Jose.
Would you like some more news about Mike Williams? It's going to piss Daryl off, too.
Oh, my God.
Fractured back. Back fracture. So.
Can you believe Staley lied to us, too, by saying he could have come back in, too? Just admit you're wrong. Don't fucking lie about it. Fractured back, so he's done for the season?
I didn't read the whole thing. I just saw back fracture. So he's out 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. So basically the entire playoffs unless they get to the Super Bowl.
It's just crazy. It's crazy that a man who has this type of a job would be so ignorant to the importance of the game following this one. I mean, it's like he was a child. Out there. It's just, God, they were coming together. They were getting healthier at the right time. And I have futures on them. And they would have the opportunity to go into Kansas City and have a good football game.
Mike Williams is going to die, so Brandon Staley can die, and Sean Payton can come in.
Oh, I'd love that, man. I love that. Jose, stay on here with me, my friend. Let's review all action here. The main thing is we're coming off a really big winning day. Good thing. Haven't had enough of them in 2023, so a nice big winning day. And we have big shows coming up today, NBA and NCAA basketball. We have a live bet stream tonight. A big one, Michigan State, Illinois. That's tonight. That's 15 minutes before the tip-off, so 8:45 p.m. Eastern here on Pub Sports Radio with Dabby Cab and Razor. Saturday, we have a huge day. We start with NCAA Pub Hub, and then we go into NFL Pub Hub. They're not back-to-back. There's a bit of a break in between them. The NFL Pub Hub is 2:30 to 4:30. Kickoff is right at 4:30. Then it's our UFC stream all night. Sunday, live bet streams for every game.
Wow.
Jose, you want to add something?
Yeah. Don't forget with the UFC stream and the UFC coming back, you can go on Pub Sports Radio's website right now and join into our UFC contest that happened every live event. Shout out to Mills as well for reminding me. So the live bet stream you're watching and all that stuff, go to pubsportsradio.com, put your little contest picks in. It's pretty fun. I've done it before. So you just pick a fighter, how they win, and then it points it all up, and then you see who wins at the end at the card. So it's a lot of fun.
Sweet. Great call, Jose. Yes, huge things ahead of us. Don't forget of our codes for MyBookie and Bet Online, Pub Sports, and if you're opening up a new account, they'll match you up to $1,000. There you have it. So a huge weekend ahead of us. And don't forget, Sunday, 3 live bet streams. We have our guy Sharpie on the first one, Dolphins, Bills. And then CMAC hosts the second one, Vikings, Giants. And then I come in with a bottle of Kraken and the Bengals on the Sunday night. And then Monday nighter, we're back in action, our regular Monday nighter as well. Jose, excellent job. Let's review all action here quickly. In NHL, Bobano's on the Penguins team total over 3.5 minus 117. And with Tokarski in, I'm actually thinking of backing him after he's earned this opportunity. And that's a lot for a 33-year-old goaltender finally getting a chance. Finally getting a chance to backstop a good hockey team, because he had a chance with the Sabres. And he's had a ton of chances because he was Canada's goaltender in World Junior Championships in 2009. I'm on the Ducks first period at plus 167. And I'm on the Oilers -1 at minus 104. Bobano's on the Oilers money line and parlayed with the over 5.5 plus 142. Then in college basketball, Bobano's on the over 145.5 in Yale. Cornell, I expect to be on that as well. Kent State, Ohio Bobcats, we stayed off, but Bobano's on the over 132.5 in Nebraska, Purdue. He's on St. Peter's plus 10.5. I'm taking St. Peter's first half. Siena, Niagara, we stayed off. I'm on the Mount. Manhattan, Mount St. Mary's under 127.5. I shouldn't say I'm on the Mount. I'm on the under 127.5. I'm going to be on it. I haven't bet it yet. Bobano's on the over 136.5 in Fairfield, Iona. I'm taking the first half over. I prefer that just in case Iona takes their foot off the gas in the second half. They're coming off an embarrassing loss. And Fairfield coming off shooting 31.8% from the field and 12.5% from three. Bobano's on the over 127.5 and minus 110. I think I'm going to jump on Marist here at Canisius. I'm going to take another look. I'm going to be on the under in Villanova Butler. Bobano's on Eastern Michigan plus 14. I'm going to be on Eastern Michigan first half and the over. Then Bobano's on Michigan State plus 7. The play of the day is Michigan State plus 6.5. And again, that's our live bet stream tonight. Bobano's on VCU plus 7.5 and the over 129.5. And the spreadsheet play of the day is also VCU. Bobano's on Nevada money line, the over 143.5. I'm going to be on Nevada first half full game. It reminds me of Southern Utah yesterday. Very similar situation. A team that excels at home. Nevada had their 6-game winning streak snapped. There's boxes I can tick for Cornell. I also love when they go up on the road, a very good basketball team, and play them tough. Nevada just did that at San Diego State to stop that winning streak. Nevada gets back to their winning ways. Joe Yurkovich says, how is Purdy in the rain? The real question is, how is Purdy the second time seeing an opponent? Of the 6 opponents he's played, only one has been against a team over 500. That was the Seahawks, and they slowed him down. I'm on the under in that one. All right, there you go. Thank you all so much for your support. Great to have Jack Rosenblatt back in action with us. Johnny K, Silver Malco, Joe Yurkovich, Jarek White, Nasty Nate, Dan Kelly, Real Deal Prime, North Ender, Parl Angel, Harold Williams. Did I say Lucas Ryan? I hope I did. Sky Dragon, Mike M, Coin. What a great, great group. Thank you guys so much for your support. Leo said it. BJ. Now let's go out there. Eddie Euler, Rob Free, I Get Money, Bo Jackson, Abel A, Spenny Penny Bombs. Let's go out there and get that fucking money.
I have a bonus for everyone.
Oh, let's hear it.
A little bonus for everyone that sticks around for the 3 hour and 7-minute show. You get a little bonus. There's a baseball tournament coming around next month, officially 1 month from now. Pitchers and catchers report for the WBC, and I will give you my first baseball World Classic future. Now, it's boring. I think it's boring to take the 2 favorites. Obviously, the U.S. and the DR are the juggernaut squads, but I have the 3rd favorite, unfortunately, for everyone. There you go, Rem. I got you. I'm taking Japan to win the Baseball World Classic. Bet Online has plus 450. I saw FanDuel has plus 550. So shop around, obviously. But I am taking Japan to win the Baseball World Classic. They've won it the most amount of times. Their lineup, or I should say their pitching staff, is loaded, better than the U.S.'s pitching staff. And if they can hit, which I think they will, I think they use their small ball to their advantage. Is just like in the Little League World Series, man. It just happens like this. Japan always comes out and wins. So I like Japan as my non-USDR team. So give me Japan plus 450, plus 550, wherever you can get it.
There you have it. Japan to win the World Baseball Classic at plus 450. His first opening up his account, and he has his own spreadsheet. Jose is on the Spurs first half plus 5 minus 111, first half plus 205 money line under 244, and Japan winning the World Baseball Classic. Have a great time at that arena tonight.
I'm gonna get Liddy Bop, as the kids say.
They do say that. Alamo Dome.
They say that.
Take some videos, man. Share some videos.
I will. I'll even show you. You probably can't even see them because they're green, but I've got my Sun Dizzle shorts. You can't even see them. They're the shorts that we've got this year. They cost me entirely too much money, but I'll feel like Sun Dizzle.
You've earned that, right?
Thank you. Me and him could be brothers. We look a lot alike. And again, coming soon in a month.
Ooh, look at that. That's gorgeous.
Let's have a good time. I'll be there, hopefully. Gonna buy my flight this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We love you, Jose. Jose, can you please do us the great honor of lecheing us, caliente lecheing us into the future?
It's fucking gross, dude. Unless I'm like a 4-year-old baby boy drinking milk. I don't know why 4-year-olds drink milk either, but shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
As well, Mike M also mentioning Venezuela not make it. Fuck you, Mike M. I'm not betting on those bums, even though I love them. And the U.S. is already fucking, or I should say, MLB is already rigging the system against my fucking guys. Shout out to Joe Yurkovich, Dan Kelly, Real Deal Prime, North Ender. And remember, I have both hands right here, Jimmy, so I can't end the show. But thanks, everyone, for watching. We appreciate it. I'm going to get a haircut right after this gas report. And I didn't call you the gas station report. I'll see you guys next time. Leche. Hey, los pocos.